free-to-play players. Is anyone looking for... Is anyone... Can we have a raise of hands? Who is a free-to-play player in Zenless Zone? Can I see? I don't really see it. Oh, wait, it's me!
Subscribe!
Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video, and today we are gonna be doing something very special. Absolute nuclear yet fest, where we will be doing our review on every single or almost every single Zenless Zone Zero reviews, reviewing these reviews, placing them in my review tier list for the reviews of Zenless Zone Zero. And without further ado, let's get into today's content. Yeah, so this is gonna be the rough gist of how we're doing it. It is not like objectively or whatever. Please do not take offense if anything happens. It is just my personal opinion. This is a completely subjective shitpost because I think this is pretty fun, right? So yeah, and who else better to roast than myself? So I will be reviewing my own review as the prime example. I'm setting the example by reviewing my own review, and yeah, let's go. Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video, and this is going to be my Zenless Zone Zero review. As of the live version, I've currently been streaming for more than 10 hours. I'm currently a complete free-to-play. Honestly, it's not even
this is going to be my first ever game,
it's not even
gacha game that I'm staying completely free-to-play because I want to be relatable to my audience. Right? I'm sick and tired of all of the, oh my god, whale, unreadable, 175 speed, all that kind of stuff. So this game in Zenless Zone Zero, I'm committing.
By the way, I am free to play, by the way, chat. I am completely free to play, by the way. So in case you guys forgot, I am completely free to play, right? Absolutely. Yeah, MrPokke, go
become a complete free play, and these are going to be my thoughts, right? A little bit of context, I am playing in the American server. I'm currently level 25, almost at level 26, and I've pretty much hit the soft cap. I have cleared every single possible mission, or not every single, everything is done, right? There's nothing left to do, so this is a pretty good stopping point for me to kind of discuss my personal impressions for Zenless Zone Zero. What changed between...
Okay, I like this point that MrPokke made over here, which is he explicitly said that this is gonna be his first impression in Zenless Zone Zero, as of where he is, right? He clearly stated that this is gonna be his first impression. He clearly stated that he's currently at level 26. He clearly stated that there's nothing else to do. I really like the fact that he did not go ahead and say, Zenless Zone Zero sucks, or Zenless Zone is the best game in the world. He clearly said that this was the first impression. Very well played here by MrPokke.
This version is CB3. Alright, so Zenless Zone Zero. I'll just say that this game, it is...
I just realized that we are wearing the same exact shirt again.
Of the most controversial games I streamed a long ass time. And what I mean by controversial is essentially the opinions of my chat is extremely divided. This is probably not a...
Yeah, I do agree with MrPokke right here. I do agree with MrPokke right here. My chat, they are extremely divided. And from what I've been experiencing, this has not just been happening to my chat, right? I have been streaming Zenless Zone Zero almost every single day ever since the game has released. Almost a lot of the... Unless the streamer is overall a very net positive attitude, there has been overwhelming negative sentiments for Zenless Zone Zero, especially on day one. Holy shit, the shitfest that went down on day one, it was absolutely insane. So absolutely insane.
Common theme that's limited to my chat and my chat alone. The community seems to be very divided on Zenless Zone Zero. On one hand, people are saying this is a furry and emo game. On the other hand, people are saying this game is the second coming of the Wuthering waves. My god, Hoyo outdone themselves again. My chat is, for lack of a better word, not very neutral during my playthrough in Zenless Zone Zero. I think my mods have never been...
Holy cod. Yeah, I do agree with MrPokke here. MrPokke's chat that day, it was really bad. Very
as
neutral.
easy as they have been in their entire lives. Not even when I'm playing Genshin Impact, which is crazy. I feel that Zenless Zone Zero is definitely targeting an audience that differs from the...
Yeah, it's Ducky.
Honkai Starbucks community, as well as the Genshin Impact community. They are definitely trying this whole new approach. You can tell by their aesthetics, their music, their overall UI, feel and vibe of the game itself. It's very obvious that they're trying to target a completely different demographic. And what happens is, I believe this is one of Newton's force of law, is an object at rest will want to stay at rest. People are...
absolutely. He is referring to Newton's law over here. When an object is at rest, he wants to stay at rest, and when an object in motion, he will always be in motion, right? There's an opposite force, there will always be an opposite force, right? Very nice
to try out new games, especially games in Zenless Zone Zero, because it is vastly different from Honkai Starbucks and Genshin Impact. So when they end up trying Zenless Zone Zero, because of this feeling of unfamiliarity, disregarding the furry and the character and all that kind of stuff, right? It's a very unfamiliar game, and they give this game probably like 2-3 hours, and be like, oh nope, game's boring, there's nothing to do, there's TV all over the place, there's kids all over the place, running around, this game just not for me, L game. And that has been the general consensus, especially for my first 2-3 hours playing this game, because I was at the start of this game. And to that, I say, it is valid. I think that
why is this guy so funny? Oh my god, he should get a sub now. Yo, can we get hearts in the chat? Give me hearts in the chat for MrPokke. What a great streamer.
At the start, it can be a little bit dull, especially for me, because I played in both CB2 and CB3. So this is literally my third time playing the exact same story, the exact same dialogue, and 90% the exact same cutscenes for everything. So for me, I do feel that this is a little bit repetitive at this point. For a brand new player that probably has never played a overview before, you'll notice that the amount of skips we are given is insane. If you're playing this game for the story, I would say lower your expectations. Me personally, I didn't really vibe the story that much. I do wanna correct. I think this was MrPokke's first L take. Blood just doesn't pay attention to the story. He's just staring at tits and ass and just having ADHD. Doesn't even pay attention. Absolutely L take. I believe that all Hoyo games, they are fundamentally story games at heart.
They are fundamentally building the lore, building out what the community has to offer, building up their characters. Not pay attention to a whole story game. It is a cardinal sin, very, very big L from MrPokke. I really hope that he pays attention to the story. So, for example, I myself, right, I have paid attention to the story, right? Gray's story, Zhu Yuan's story, they're all really, really good. Right? The feed, yeah, just Jerry's. This is the first. I really don't like this take from MrPokke.
I didn't really like the 1.0 story. To begin with, I'm not a story player. Anyways, I wanted to play a game for the game itself, for the gameplay, for the looks, the vibes, the characters. So story is legit like one of the bottom
Yo, check, go get the base
of my priority. So in terms of story, I genuinely don't give a flying, right? I just give everything. If you guys are here for my channel to think about like story for Zenless Zone Zero, then you come to the wrong place. One thing I want to mention, the TV. So what I've noticed that for the TV, it is still very, very minimal. They removed a lot. They already did remove a lot of symmetry. The only two places with TV is story, commission, and explore. And these are basically one-time clear hits. So people saying that TV in Zenless Zone Zero is way too much. I think it's not exactly a fair judgment because it's not like you're going to be playing these for the rest of your life. Much like puzzles in Genshin Impact or puzzles in Honkai, right? They're basically one-time clear hits.
Am I crazy or like can I understand him perfectly at 2x speed? Yo, chat, type 1 you can keep up. Oh, that's a lot of ones actually. That's actually a lot of ones.
That Zenless Zone Zero, they do seem to appeal to a very different group of people. It is somewhat refreshing. If you are into them, fine. If you're not, then it's definitely going to be one big factor as to why you want to play or not want to play.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Game, collector game, husband game. If the waifu and husband does not appeal to you, you probably end up not playing this game. It is what it is. And now let's kind of move on towards the progression. There has been a very common complaint so far, aside from the furries and the lollies and all kinds of another like the TV. There's been another very prominent complaint, which is the progression in Zenless Zone Zero is too fucking boring. I think there is this clip. I'm not sure if I can find this. Mtashed was literally like fucking looking at the wall, pressing random buttons, and he was still clearing the content that this game has to offer. I have no idea what stage it was. It was the most likely story. So yeah, I'm not gonna be on bush. I'm gonna be extremely neutral but extremely transparent at the same time. Difficulty in Zenless Zone Zero, especially if you're playing casual story mode, it is non-existent. Even though Zenless Zone Zero can have a in-depth combat system, parry, dodges, iframes, press and hold, heavy attacks, days, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter, especially for like my first 7 hours on the game. First 7-ish hours, difficulty is out of the window.
It is true.
For the story, every single story so far, you can pretty much just when you see a bright light, you click the next, you click change. When you see a attack, you just click dodge, and then when you see a skill pop up, just press a random button, and you're pretty much gonna be able to beat the boss. So I think
you don't even need to press you don't even need to press a button when you see a bright light. You can legit just get hit and nothing happens. So like yeah, honestly, MrPokke is completely valid here. There is no difficulty in the early games.
I would say that towards some of the end game content in Zenless Zone Zero, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. So what it specifically mean is going to be these two things over here: the Holo Zero as well as the Shiyu defense. Right now, I just cleared stage 3.
Okay, I could kind of win on this a little bit. You know, MrPokke, you know, you guys you're still a new player, right? But me myself, I actually cleared up to stage 6. Stage 1 to 6. Honestly, nothing too crazy. Difficulty is more or less there. Nothing too crazy. It's just you just need to deal more damage. Towards the end game, then I'll refer you guys to this video over here. We've just posted. The CNs, floor 16 and floor 17 clears. You can make a judgment for yourself.
If right now, as a free-to-play player, I can blaze my way through all the way until here, then something's wrong with this game, right? I am already starting to feel a little bit. It's a kind of a mix between both DPS check, which is depending on how much damage you do, and the bosses start to actually hit for a little bit. You just miraculously notice that your character's health is at like what, fucking half health, right? And you didn't notice because I've been so used to this game becoming I'm just gonna press random buttons and this game's gonna be fine. I've become so used to this mindset that even when I hit my boss, I don't even notice it. So this will start to kind of bite me in the ass because all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, my survival has 10 HP left, and it just happened out of nowhere. So that's where some of the this kind of things will bring up. So I wouldn't expect Zenless Zone Zero to be full on easy mode for the rest of the game.
You basically it's a lot more leaning towards the damage check compared to your dodge and parry check.
Speaking about progression, the combat system itself, because the early portions of the game they were so easy, a lot of players probably didn't even grasp the proper team building. So one example, right, is my old team was running Wuthering with Nico Mata and so I learned these two teams. So basically, I didn't even run a stun unit or ND. Right? I didn't run a I didn't really notice the difference because enemies were just dying left, right, center, anyways. Everyone was dying. I'm gonna flying fight, my break out just did. But towards the end, I had a very substantial jump. There was this particular stage where I suddenly just dealt like no damage. My Korean was doing like 3 damage, 7 damage per tick, and the fight just took on like so long. This particular stage, the criteria for you to hit an S rank, I believe it is to hit a 4-minute clear. Yep, a 4-minute clear. For this particular stage, all of a sudden, I hit a massive DPS check where I beat this stage in 6 minutes and 40 seconds because my team did not have a breaker. Having a stun unit in your team is absolutely pivotal. You have to have stun because of this right here, this impact. 100
absolutely.
If you don't have a stun unit, the rest of your units are dealing like a lot lower, almost 50% lower impact. So you are, and this was like 86. It is a lot lower, so you build up your days bar a lot slower. And the reason why you really want a stun unit is because triggering days allows you to launch your coordinate attacks, it allows you to do increased damage to the enemy, and it allows you to replenish your parry counters.
I'm not sure why this MrPokke guy is yapping so long here. I think he yapped on for legit like 5 minutes. Just run a days unit, done, alright? Plus just yapping way too much. I really don't like this.
Minor stats can improve over damage. For example, Nico Mata, right, trying to get in the backstab. Unbi trying to land your whatever part. A soldier 11 landing a perfect dodge, and after we can do that. What is broken can be reforged like Riven. A 5 damage is absolutely insane. All these small things, they make a minor but additive amount of difference to your overall damage output. Does it matter?
Oh, MrPokke is a league player. Oh my god.
It will start to matter, right? So
crazy. What was broken can be reforged.
You're probably dying to hear this. Is Zenless Zone Zero's combat better or is Wuthering Waves combat better? I wouldn't say which one is better because I'm neutral, and it is a subjective take. But I'm gonna list which one is easier. I feel that for me personally, Wuthering Waves combat was more difficult compared to Zenless Zone Zero. The parry windows, you can't just click a button and you automatically parry because I don't think I have ever failed a parry in Zenless Zone Zero unless I just miss the timing. In Zenless Zone Zero, as long as there's a yellow light, you press swap teammate, you are gonna land the parry. No matter where you are, no matter where you stand, where boss attacks come from, you're gonna land the parry. In Wuthering Waves, parrying is a lot more precise. You legit have to match your character's weapon with the incoming boss attack, and then it will trigger the parry. If the boss is coming at you this way, but your weapon is still here and it hasn't connected, it wouldn't parry. So in terms of details, attention details, Wuthering Waves parry system is definitely a lot more strict compared to Zenless Zone Zero. So that's one example. Another example is in Zenless Zone Zero, you basically only have one ultimate, and 99.999% of the time you are gonna be using this ultimate from your main DPS gets to the absolute highest amount of damage. Although there might be some niche situations there, but there's only one ultimate in this game. Once you use the ultimate, you have to charge all over again. In one waves, you have cycle your ultimate gives you energy, and after that, conserve energy, intro, outro, bars, all that kind of stuff. All this kind of stuff, it is not in Zenless Zone Zero. So
Absolutely.
this game does not have a ecosystem. Ecosystem in Zenless Zone Zero, if you really want to call it ecosystem, is the Punk Boost, right? Punk Boost, they change nothing. Punk Boost don't really have a very significant impact in the game. They do very little damage. Maybe they do a little bit of a buff. I mean, I'm a free to play.
I still feel this, by the way, chat. I still feel this. I don't feel like my bumble is gonna be like, holy shit, if I didn't have this bumble, my team just collapses.
If you're somebody that enjoys a more in-depth combat, neutrally speaking, you're probably gonna enjoy Wuthering better.
Neutrally speaking, Wuthering Waves 1.2 drip market, it was a mid as fuck. Okay, editors.
Overall resources as a free-to-play. I'm a free-to-play in Zenless Zone Zero. I'm a complete free-to-play in Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, you guys know that I'm free to play as well. I'm completely free to play in Zenless Zone. Absolutely.
Resources, they can get a little bit tight. I used 2 of these batteries so far. I said 4 more. I didn't realize.
I only use these two, by the way. I have not used anything else.
Trying to foresee that it's gonna take a little bit to enhance it, right? So I completely
It does.
for my traces for this ascension thing.
It will take quite a bit.
Right? So these 3 are pretty much the only units I'm going to be raising as a free-to-play player in Zenless Zone Zero. I'm not gonna bother raising team 2. These are the only 3 units I'm gonna be focusing. Hopefully, if the RNG gods wanna bless me, then they can let me get an Ellen early. Also, in case anyone's wondering why I have 420 monochrome, it's because my gem gods they want
to play, by the way.
Single dime of this. I'm not gonna spend a single dime on monochrome. Even my Wuthering, I'm not gonna spend anything whatsoever. So that's good. But yeah, hopefully we get Ellen. If we don't get Ellen, then
nah, you win. Nah, you'd win, alright? Hey, believe in yourself, chat. Blessings to Pokke, right? You will win, absolutely.
I cannot imagine anyone doing more than 1 team right now. It's just straight up, it's so difficult to do more than 1 team. Unless you're legit just power leveling everything, max refresh, all that. For me right now,
I can think of one person, this person called Sarah, my mod, right? This person, they claim they're free to play, but then they just burn all of their polychromes on stamina refreshes. They're basically cheating. Please do not follow Sarah's footsteps, absolutely.
Zenless Zone Zero is a very chill game. I don't foresee this being the main game because it has already been my first day and I already got the war. I got the war, I got the level, and it's been day 1. So I don't expect this to be a main game, just like any other Hoyoverse games. I don't think Hoyo is making a main game for anybody. They are kind of like the Apple of the Gacha game industry. They want to make multiple different games. People don't know what they mean. That's pretty much it. And I foresee Zenless Zone Zero is very chill, where you hop on, you come do a couple of boss fights, all that kind of stuff. In conclusion of my first impressions of Zenless Zone Zero, I don't think this game deserves a hit that's getting. I think the majority of reasons is 3. Number 1,
I do agree.
It's too fucking easy. And
wait, before we continue, I still agree with the fact that Zenless Zone Zero just should not be a main game. It's very difficult to make this a main game. The end game content from what I've seen in CN is like hell sponges. You spam your rotations. Pretty much it. There's not a lot of high stakes situations if you want to compare to the hologram fights or even like Elden Ring or even Sekiro, all these kind of like nuclear boss fights in a combat game. So there's not a lot in the game that I have to force myself to do in order to just get into playtime, right? So yeah, I think as a side game, this is fine. You log in for like 10 minutes, couple of days. Same thing for Star Rail, same thing for Genshin, same thing for Wuthering Waves, same thing for whatever. It's gonna be a great game. Yep.
This is what Elden Ring is. You're not fighting the fucking tree sentinel at the starting spawning pool, right? If you don't like the credit design, then so be it. It's not quality. If you guys don't like Zenless Zone because of the credit design,
sit on my ass. Sit on my face.
Absolutely. I think that's pretty pathetic because this is just a matter of taste. I will be continuing to play Zenless Zone Zero. I will be continuing my
that's
first
good.
ever free-to-play gacha game. I'm completely free to play. And I can kind of force
60 is actually a very, very nice
see myself
number.
having a similar future of Zenless Zone Zero compared to all other
This
games.
is a decent number.
Game.
I'm free to play, by the way.
If there is nothing to do in the game, whatever gacha game it may be, I'm not gonna force myself to play the game. Which is why you are probably never gonna get a I'm quitting XXX. I am
base
because
base.
It's not that deep for me.
Very good.
How I operate. I'm not bound by a contract. I'm like whole contract. Oh my god, I can't play any other game. I can't play. I can play whatever fucking game I want to play. And if the game is
that's pretty good.
That is probably gonna be hard recycling. Right now,
That's pretty good.
Play this 1 week, 2 weeks. When it's time to do, I'm gonna be Pokemon. And if my viewers think that I'm a traitor, I'm a Horoshield or I'm a Kuroshield because I quit the game or I quit the game, I'm sorry. But not giving up. Okay, we've come to the end of this content.
Alright, this guy is great. Yo, this guy's a great. Alright, hey, chat. Can we get a yo, Moss, can we shut up, MrPokke? Yo, this guy is great. I think this review is objectively really, really good. Right, a lot of great points. The only point that you kind of made an L was the story, right? You really want to play a story. Genuinely, I'm just gonna say peak, man. This was a peak review. Like, shit, man. Out of the story, but I legitimately agree with every single thing he says. Objectively speaking, I feel that this is a great review. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be our first review. Going for the peak, that's gonna be MrPokke's review. Going for a complete peak after this, and it's gonna be really, really good. And now jumping into the next review, it's gonna be by our none other than our Ash man himself. Oh my god, there's a lot of this. I have no idea why. Right, let's see how I'm just gonna be stacking this.
I swear every content creator in the world is like, Mtashed, alright, quit. It's so annoying. But anyways, I'm committed. I'm playing the game. I'm going to be 100% honest every time, no matter the game, no matter the take. I always am honest.
Being honest is good.
Hasn't been the most fun. There's clips of me complaining about the game.
I think that is fine. I think that if you're not having fun playing a game, I think that is completely fine. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with saying you're not having fun playing Zenless Zone Zero.
I'm not just going to give up on day 1 or day 2. And I'm already starting to see some intricacies in some of the characters, like this little Ellen girl. I wasn't even using her properly early on, and she's doing so much more damage now, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm hoping that there's content that I can't beat if I play poorly. But even when I am not dodging, like I'm just not pressing the dodge button, in a lot of these boss fights, I need to take 30 to 40 hits per character for someone to die.
I think if that was his experience be it in the story or I am not sure at this point level 25 which bosses were they fighting, right? If you take like 30 to 40 hits to die, and if that was really what happened, I think this take is valid. But I will say this is definitely not the norm. Towards the end, level 26, level 20, level 30, level 32, all this kind of stuff, shield defense, even for Holo Zero to a certain extent, it's definitely gonna not be as forgiving as 30 to 40 hits.
It's very difficult to die, even against some of the harder fights that I've done.
Objectively accurate. It is a objectively accurate take to say that it is quite difficult to die. In a sense where even in the end game content, like legitimate end game shield defense 16, 17, you don't even get one shot.
I played like an absolute degenerate idiot, and I still almost beat the level 31. I don't know. I definitely feel like things, as I'm getting further into the game, are getting a bit more difficult because I'm just seeing enemies that I didn't see before. The level scaling of the enemies and my lack of upgrades is coming into play. I just want to keep going, and I want to commit for the next, few days. I want to give you my honest review. But yeah, my first impressions aren't great. I think a lot of combat is unsatisfying. I feel like a lot of the time, when I'm fighting stuff, I'm not in control.
Okay, I have no fucking idea what you meant by that.
But when I played Genshin, the rotations of the characters felt like, I'm going to apply some Hydro, and then I'm going to vape it off. I'm going to suck them up with Venti. I'm going to pop my Shangling. I'm going to pop my Xingqiu. It felt like a really meaningful thing. It felt more satisfying. The same thing.
Having a more satisfied experience or like having more deeper in Genshin because you have like more ultimates, it doesn't necessarily deny the fact that you are still ultimately in control of Zenless Zone Zero. It's not like the fucking AI all of a sudden quick swap the character for you, or like all of a sudden your ultimate is auto cast. So like I think this statement is a little bit false. Maybe he meant that the game was not complex enough, but not exactly where he's not in control.
And I do feel like 85 to 90% of this content you can play blindfolded, you can play without any sort of effort, and yes, absolutely, the different agents have skills that have intricacies. There's the basic attacks. There's the dodge thing. With her, you can hold the dodge, and then you can hold the dodge and do a charge attack, and you can do a dash. And like, there is intricacy in these kits. In most of the content, if you just keep spamming like shift and attack and press E once in a while and press spacebar when you see a golden flash, you will do 95% of the damage required to beat the hardest content in the game. I'm telling you.
Okay, I think at this point, I've mentioned this in the Gacha cast the other day. And I've had this exact same sentiment. It's not that you're not in control. It is more like the environment where Zenless Zone Zero combat is based on. There's not enough depth, which is what he's basically explaining here. It's not that you're not in control. You are in control.
I didn't understand the attack patterns of the one boss, and I got hit like 20 or 30 times, and people still aren't dying. And I feel like if you're playing that bad, you should probably get punished, and it doesn't seem like it's there. And even on the harder difficulties, like, it's essentially just more damage needed to kill the same enemy, but they don't, it doesn't make the game harder. I'll just do it over and over and over again, and it's just boring playing on the harder difficulty because it's just literally a bullet sponge. It doesn't change anything.
I didn't notice any changes in boss attack patterns or the AI becoming more aggressive, or there's like brand new movesets, or like there's like a double boss in one stage. Even in the endgame content that we see in Shield Defense 17 and 16, right? Like our previous video that we mentioned, the CN first clear, there was very little changes when it comes to the boss AI or targeting, where it forced the player to be like, oh my god, this is a lot more aggressive, and I need to play a lot more aggressive myself, or I need to be like more locked in. It is essentially at the end of the day, at a harder difficulty, for the most part, health sponges, and they do hit you more, but the philosophy is the same. Okay, I think there's an excellent example. Fighting Godric the Grafted, I think his attacks are very telegraphed, and there's not a lot of nuances, there's not a lot of differences, not a lot of variations when you fight Godric the Grafted, versus fighting Malenia, Blade of Mikola. Those two, they're completely different, be it in terms of damage, be it in terms of movesets and aggression, everything's different. I feel like in Zenless Zone Zero, you're pretty much fighting Godric the Grafted right now, and then 10 years later, you're fighting Godric the Grafted, but with like 10 times the health pool and 10 times the damage.
Wuthering Waves, if that game was like a 7 out of 10 for me, Zenless Zone Zero is like a, honestly, at this moment in time, is like a 5.
He wanted to say 4.
5.5. Maybe. 10 to 12 hours that I've put into the game, I honestly think I've enjoyed maybe 14 minutes. And that was when I was fighting the
13 minutes was him staring at Rena's giant hits.
Hardest fight that I've done so far. And I was trying to use Ellen's abilities. And I was trying to master and use all of those ice abilities properly. I can't say anything about the story because I've skipped everything. And maybe the story's amazing.
Ooh, that's 2 for 2 content creators, MrPokke and Mtashed, skipping through the story at the start. Absolute cardinal sin when it comes to a Hoyoverse game. Absolutely unacceptable. How dare you skip? That's really, really bad. That's really, really bad.
I don't know. I have no idea. And so maybe I'm killing the game for myself because I'm missing out on the story. But chat keeps saying that it's not great. honestly, I feel like everyone else is being more negative than me. I feel like I've been honest about it, but I can't play for 5 minutes without being like, oh my god, he looks like he's gonna quit. Oh my god, he looks so bored. Oh my god, he hates this game. Oh my god, is he gonna quit? And it's like, I understand the memes, but I'm giving it my all out here. I don't think it's amazing. I straight up don't think it's amazing. I do not think I will play this game long term, but I at least want to unlock the hardest stuff that I can before there's like a very big time gate. Already at a spot where I need to level up my interlock a little bit, and then I got to get to level 30, shortly after that, and I'm gonna need to use some energy. I could use polychrome, but I don't know, I don't want to do that really. I'm starting to slow down, but I do have some quests. Like, I think we'll hit 30 this weekend. Oh, I guess you can't see this. I'm at 25. I think we'll hit 30 this weekend, sorry.
I unlocked 30 like 2 days ago. It changed nothing. You're going to be limited by your second team in shield defense. Holo Zero is easy as fuck, even at level 30. So it changes nothing. Unless you build up a second team, then you can tackle shield defense 7 to 10 and try that. Otherwise, if you're not building a second team, level 30, level 32, level 36, it changes nothing.
30.
Oh wait, you unlock the waifu simulator. I take it back. It changes everything. Yo, chat, it changes everything. I went out with NB. Oh my god, it was so great. It changes everything. Yeah, I take it back.
The TVs are so shockingly bad, and the amount of chores you need to do is crazy to me.
Okay, I think for the TV, like I mentioned in my mid-game review, right, it's kind of growing on me, especially towards the chapter 2 Chu Yuan's story chapter, as well as Grace companion mission. I think it's legitimately growing. Like, I haven't gone like, oh my god, fuck TV. Like, I'm actually okay with it now.
I think that the energy spending system is pretty fine. You can actually spend more energy. You can spend like 80 energy on farming materials. You can double up and get double drops and different things like that. It's fine so far. The main systems of the game are fine. The roguelike system, that thing is okay too. I'm not going to say it's revolutionary, but this system here, I don't have to.
I like it. I like the roguelike. It's not too bad.
This thing, I haven't done a whole bunch of it, and I need to do more.
If I were to compare Zenless Zone Zero roguelike, which is Holo Zero on day 1, versus Wuthering Waves Elusive Realm, day 1, I would say this is way better than Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves, it was like you couldn't even use most of the cast unless you had them. I think in this regard, you had a lot more flexibility to kind of explore what you really have. But that's just my personal opinion. And also, let's just not even mention like the fucking amount of bugs there were in Elusive Realm. So I'm just gonna make a very neutral comparison. Holo Zero to Elusive Realm, I like Holo Zero more.
I cannot believe that the what do you want to call it? The internaut level, your account level, is also tied behind doing some of the other missions. I don't know how you find that. Oh, here we go. In order to get your rank up, not only do I have to be level 30, I also have to do 100 of these observation data.
Okay, this observation data thing is like a very small thing. It's a very, very small thing, I would say.
Now, some of that's going to be naturally from the main quest. Some of it is from some side quests or just like kind of combat stuff. But some of it is for like taking pictures of cats, playing soccer, finding
It's
garbage
so cute.
cans. A lot of it is
It's
kind
so
of,
cute.
I don't know, kind of boring. Like, I'm almost at the level.
Oh my god, how
I
can you
will
not like taking
easily
pictures of
get it.
cats?
I will easily
Man
get it,
hates
and I think
cats.
if you do I thought that this was going to be very, very combat focused as a Hoyoverse game compared to the other games. But it's very much reminding me of Honkai Impact 3rd. On the rails, jump into the mission, do stuff, but there's still a bunch of yapping. If you're going to make a combat game and get rid of all the side quests and the chores and focus on the combat. But they want
So
to
it's basically Honkai Impact 4th. Insane.
sell characters, they want to sell waifus, they want people to like the characters so that they pull for the characters. But if characters are fun to play and it's fun to do the combat, I will want them. If they have a cool passive that will allow me to do a team comp, I will want them. And I just played another, 5-6 hours of the First Descendant. I have not paid attention to 1 second of story. Half the characters, I don't find sexy or anything like that. I just want to use them and I want to fight with them. But they do everything. Every Hoyoverse game, they do it half-assed. And there's DMs from everybody, and I got to DM all the people, and there's all sorts of different pop-ups and news and the
Oh, you don't want to DM your waifus? Oh my god. Okay, legitimately, I really think this is gonna be. It is a game that is not suitable for Mtashed. I mean, man plays Hoyo games, right? I don't think it's anything new. I don't think anyone went to Zenless Zone Zero thinking, oh my god, I'm only gonna be playing this like Elden Ring. I'm only gonna be playing that Sekiro with infinite combat. It's a Hoyo game.
I get all these alerts, and oh my god, just let me fight. I don't know. Just isn't for me. I'm just not the target audience.
And that is fair, and that is completely fair. As a first impressions at internal level 25, this game is not for him. As of this current moment, I think that is a fair take.
I want to end off with one compliment for the game.
Okay.
The animations are awesome.
Yeah, I like
The
it.
art style is awesome.
The animations, guys. Editors, find Zhu Yuan's Giga Gyat. Ship it in.
Visually, I really like this kind of like street, urban, modern vibe. Whatever's going on here, I like this. I've enjoyed the music. I think that like the motifs and everything, like I think that the game looks good. It's very polished. They launched the game, hundreds of thousands of people that jump into the game. There's no lag, there's no disconnects, there's no problems. It's exceptionally well put together. I like so many of the things.
Definitely a lot more optimized.
It to be tougher and to care about dodging more and to care about my character's kits more and not just be spamming buttons and still succeeding. And I want to be more interested in like I wish there was like loot to chase that wasn't energy based. Like I wish I could just go in and grind some bosses and get drops and use them somewhere. Like I think that would be a more
so basically an MMO.
Because I like the characters, I like the kit, but it very much feels like I'm just waiting to build them and use them. I would love to just start building all these units and use them for different missions, but it's like if I put any time into anyone else but my main team, I'm delaying my main team for days and days, if not weeks. And I hate that. There's so many cool things, but you're not letting me play with them. Even if I spent money, I can't play with all the things.
Okay, literally, okay, to be completely fair, this problem is literally for every single fucking gacha game will have this problem. You can't build every single unit the moment you pull them. Like neutrally speaking, in Wuthering waves, in Honkai Star in Genshin, like every single gacha in the goddamn planet, you need to build them up. Especially when your resources are like super tight. As a free to play, I'm a free to play, by the way. I know how tight resources are. It's just impossible. If you're playing a gacha game, it's just straight up not possible.
Mtashed needs an MMO Souls-like gacha game. No, I get it. I'm critiquing systems. I make the same arguments of Wuthering Waves. And I think that's the thing, is like, when I make these critiques, it's all gacha games. It's not Zenless Zone Zero. I'm just saying, it ain't fun waiting around. I'll tell you that much. Building a game that holds your hand and is so casual friendly, it isn't fun for someone like myself. Because then you've made a game for babies. That requires a baby's level of skill to win. Sorry. And for anyone saying, well, have you beat the level 50? The level 50 defense? No, because my characters are level fucking 30 with unleveled items, and I don't have equipment. I've got a level 10. I've got a level 0 Starlight gauge here. I could level it up. I could absolutely level it up, but I'm still beating the content.
A gacha game's difficulty, it will always scale either artificially by how strong your units are, or by how well you play your under-level units. Like, these are the only three things, right? You either get dupes, you wail for the resources, or you legitimately just play better. That is one way that he can quite literally artificially make Zenless Zone Zero a more difficult game for him to enjoy, right? You use under-level units, under-level engines, and you still beat a stage with a level 50 boss. I'm pretty sure that will find him the enjoyment that he's looking for, because it will make the difficulty much more difficult. But if you don't want to do that and you want to wait for the levels to catch up, and by the time your units are level 50 with like fully maxed out relics and all that kind of stuff, then you are going to go back to the same problem where the level 50 boss is not going to be challenging anymore.
What I will do is I will log off, because I can't really make any meaningful progress until tomorrow.
That's completely fair.
And tomorrow, we go again. There's so many videos saying, oh, he's quitting. Oh, he hates the game. I critique it. I'm hard at the game. I don't love it. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I will not be playing this 2 months from now. I don't see it happening. I don't. If you love the game, go play the game. Like, don't let me dissuade you from having fun. You know? But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not... You can see it on my face. I'm sitting here dodging and like...
Yeah, I think that was a relatively decent review. I would say that's a relatively decent review. I would say there's a little bit of a character mismatch. It's hard to force yourself to be in a position to like Zenless Zone Zero or don't like Zenless Zone Zero, because it is not the right target demographic, you know. And I think he knows. I think Mtashed knows, and this is not gonna be a game for him. But I think overall he covered a lot of fair points, right? I don't think this is that bad of a review, aside from the personal disconnect with the overall vibes of the game that he's feeling. I'm gonna give this a solid B, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't think it's a bad review. I don't think it's an insanely good review, because some of it, I think having takes are fine, but having takes that are way too opinionated and affected by your personal biases, it will affect the overall credibility of the review, be it first impression, whatever, right? And we can definitely see some kind of biases, because Mtashed personally does not like playing the game because it is not a game meant for him, and I think that's completely fair. Alright, so that's gonna be a solid B. Box 2's review on Zenless Zone Zero. I actually have not watched this at all. Why the fuck do people have so many dislikes? That's crazy. What's going on, guys?
Full thoughts and opinions on Zenless Zone Zero now. Now that I've
Let's
played
give it
for, I don't know, like 6 hours, if that's enough time to give a fair review. So let's start off.
Alright, Blood played the game for 6 hours, so he's probably level 10. Let's see.
With combat, okay. Combat is the main focus, or the main / core gameplay of this game. And if I'm being completely honest, bro, I'm gonna keep this brief. It's not the greatest, okay? There's not enough to really feel innovative, I guess. For the most part, to me, it's just like mashing left click and occasionally clicking E and like R sometimes. And it's just, I don't know, man. It feels good at the start. Like, the hit impact is definitely, like, really good. But at some point, even after, like, 6 hours of me playing the game, I'm kind of already bored of it, man. Like, to be honest. And it's not a good sign because, again, it is the main gameplay of this game. If the main gameplay is going to get stale really fast, then it's going to take a lot for them to make the game interesting. I remember seeing a video in Wuwa one time where one guy combined, like, 50 different moves to do just like a mega jump so that he could climb over like a mountain. That was insane. You don't get to do that in like Zenless because first, well, it's not an open world game, and two, there's a very limited amount of moves that you can do, and again, it just, you know, it ends up being very basic.
Okay, I think Boxu's combat take is a little bit half-cooked. I'm pretty sure Blood has not explored the combat system fully. I think Mtashed's combat take was pretty fair, right? I think he admits that in Zenless Zone Zero, there's definitely a lot of nuances, right? There's more than just basic and just scaling. You can definitely chain your combos together, press and hold, shift, dodge, parry. Like, there's definitely more than one. But I think the main point on Box 2 is just that it's an environment, right? It's always based on the environment. The environment where the player is in right now, it doesn't force a player to use all these weird and fancy combos because you can literally get a job done with M1 and M1 and M1 and M1 into M1.
I think that this is by far the best looking Hoyoverse game. You look at the environment, bro, they're so detailed. Everything is so vibrant, it pops out. Even like the NPCs all look very like different. They don't feel like StarRail or Genshin.
Have you seen the NPC Gyat
in Genshin? It was really bad.
Yeah,
every single Genshin NPC kind of looked like it was copy and pasted. Even Catherine, you know, the daily commissions girl, was just copy and pasted to every single region, but they don't even care. They're not even willing to give her like a new outfit. That's how lazy they are. In StarRail, it's not revolutionary as well, but it is better. You know, they
talking bad about our great game Genshin Impact.
They've improved like a lot, man. They've got unique hairstyles. They got unique outfits, man. Like, look at her. Oh, why she kind of like dripped out? And here, what about this? This guy's got overalls and he looks stupid as shit. And you also look stupid as shit. But it's unique, man. You know, I really enjoy cozy games, and this feels like one of them. You know, again, like the combination of colors, setting. It feels like a very cozy game. It feels like I'm back at LeBlanc in Persona 5, going up to my room and having like Beneath Your Mask playing in the background. That's the vibes I get from this setting of this game, and I really, really like it. Bro, that's because you're a Persona Glazer, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Persona Glazer for a reason, because I love Persona. Next up is their characters.
Follow your orders.
People are not really going to like what I have to say. I have gone into some arguments about this, but I'm still a firm believer of every single character in this game, in this roster, looks like they are a 4-star. You know, said this a lot of times, I'll say it again. You put all of these characters in a row, I would not be able to point out the 5-star for the life of me.
Damn, that is a pretty hot take. That's gonna cause a big whoop. That's gonna cause a big reaction from the community.
This is a gacha game, man. You need to market these characters. And I don't know, I don't feel like I really want to pull on any of these people, let alone spend money. Personalities are fine. It's just that their designs look very lame to me, man. I don't know if that's gonna change in the future. Maybe they'll have like some very cool looking characters, because I know
Blood needs to play True Yuan Story. Like, I swear, True Yuan Story will change Box 2's life.
When I'm looking at like Honkai Star Rail, there are very distinctly 5-star characters, right? You take one look at that those kind of characters, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's the 5-star. That's like the highest rarity. Like Jinglu.
Is that the unit that got power crept?
Aventurine, that dude is dripped out from head to penis, man. He's got 5-star clothing. All of these people have 4-star clothing. Zhao Chu, we don't talk about Zhao Chu, man. Yeah, like Black Swan, dude. Black Swan, all of those characters, like, they feel very 5-starry. They radiate aura. That's the best way to put it, man. They radiate aura. None of these characters kind of like radiate that.
Bro is an actual Gen Z. He's basically said the entire cast of Zenless Zone Zero has negative aura.
All right, so next up is music. I'm gonna glaze the game a little bit more again, because I do think that this game has pretty damn good music. I am a very big fan of, like, I guess, like the relaxing types of music, and we get that a lot in like the not open world, but like the closed environment inside our room that we go into. Combat kind of is just all right, bro, I'll be honest, but it really is just like I guess like the area over here, it has really good music. It's very jazzy. It's very Persona-esque, man. And I'm gonna say it, man. I know I mentioned Persona a lot, bro.
Blood is just glazing Persona.
Persona-y. I'm gonna say it, bro. Story is mid. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it takes time to scale. You gotta get more into the game. But like, why can't you just have a good hook, man? I'll be honest with you. Why can't you have a good hook? We have all this good storytelling with like the comic panels, and like, you know, we're not just like walking up to NPCs all the time and just like exchanging 5 billion lines of dialogues while we stand still on the floor. But it's still boring. Like, it's good storytelling, but it's still boring.
Okay, what's a gacha game that actually has a good story? And like the first patch.
Good stories are supposed to have interesting hooks. One of the main reasons why people don't like watch One Piece is because it's too long. And One Piece fans are always going to be like, no, but it's good though. You have to try. You know, it gets good at like episode 1 billion.
Okay, I really like this analogy. I really like this analogy. I myself actually did not. I don't even watch any of the big three. Holy shit, Cardinal Sin. I've never watched One Piece, I've never watched Naruto, and I've never watched Bleach. It has 1 billion episodes. I ain't gonna wait that long, right?
But you gotta understand, some people don't want to wait that long. That's just the truth, man. And, you know, people out there exist. So you need an interesting hook. And it's not like it's impossible to have like an interesting hook, man. I keep on going because I do want to have like the best possible review for this game. But right now, man, it's taking a long time to scale, dude. It's just some boring about a strong box.
Blood needs to say, where the fuck is he in his progression? He played for 6 hours. Surely he can't be that far.
Free-to-playness, you want me to be honest, bro? I don't care. I really don't care about free-to-playness in gacha games unless it's PvP. So, hey, if you want me to talk about that, then...
Hey, okay, do you guys know that I'm a free-to-play? Do you guys know that MrPokke is a completely free-to-play player in Zenless Zone? Absolutely insane. I'm a complete free-to-play. Absolutely insane.
Probably won't because it's an offline game. You can clear any content with free-to-play characters, let's be honest. Don't care at all. If we're gonna complain about a game being free-to-play, then complain about it where there's like PvP. Bro, you haven't fought a boss. Why haven't they given me a legitimate boss fight after 6 hours? That is my question as well.
Blood is waiting for level 16. He's a Kassadin main, guys. He's still farming top lane, getting for his level 16 ultimate Kassadin to go all in and one shot at 80 carry.
Can anyone here say that they've struggled in like a Wuthering Waves boss yet? Yes or no? Because I'm taking a look at some of these bosses, and they literally only have like 3 movesets in their entire kit. I'm not...
Did Blood just say Wuthering Waves? Blood is like Joe Biden.
It's telegraphed like easy as hell too, man. Boxers a simulated universe, bro. I think it's becoming like the norm to have like a roguelite kind of like, I guess, end game implemented in every single gacha game now. Because I'm seeing a lot of games do that. If you want to be honest, bro, like most people don't give games that long of a try. All these people on Twitter talking about, yeah, I installed the game for like 2-3 hours, played it for that much, and I just deleted it. I would have done the same if I wasn't a content creator. Say what you want. Actually, no, don't say what you want, bro. I'm gonna say what I want, and you get to listen, bro. The TV's just boring. TVs, man. You're like, what is it? I thought they were gonna fix that. I've talked to so many people. Nobody likes a TV event, man. It's just tedious puzzle work, and the fact that they force it on your throat as well is not. It's just not fun, man. It's just not fun. I'd rather spend left click on the combat than do the TV gameplay. The TV should have been separate puzzles, bro. Yeah, but you know, I guess in their defense, it's already like very much implemented since a long time ago, so it's kind of like hard to take it out.
To be completely fair, if he is level 9 here, I really don't think there's much to do other than TV. Yeah. Like, what else can you do as a level 9? Fight Memory Chaos right now? There's just not much to do at level 9. It is what it is.
I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they can't just like completely, you know, butcher most of it. But it is pretty boring. TV is one time only, bro. TV is one time only, but it's still annoying as fuck. And if somebody wants to like progress in a story and then like do like that, like say example me, right? You know, you can say all you want about, oh, Box, you're the only person who doesn't, you know, it takes so little time. No, dude, everyone's complaining about TVs, man. If you guys didn't watch like the Tectone Gacha podcast where we talked about Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, I remember being there and I heard Shinya say something like, well, you guys probably have like a warped view of these gacha games because you guys are content creators and you guys are always trying to find content to play in a game where in reality gacha games are supposed to be like burst fun, right? You're supposed to have like fun in bursts where you come back like every update and just like, you know, just play it for that month, I guess. Normal people would find that, you know, fun, you know, because you don't have to put too much commitment into the game. You log into your daily every single day, you come back when there's like fun shit to do. But us as content creators, when it's like, I guess it's like our livelihoods and we have to like make a living off this shit, we're going to hate the game more because of that.
No. I actually strongly disagree. I think as a content creator, just because you play Zenless Zone doesn't mean you want to hate the game more. It legitimately depends on what are you gonna make out of this. Like for me, if I know I'm gonna be hating the story for the first show, I legitimately just did nothing but skip everything. I skipped everything when there's nothing to do. I moved on and do some nuclear drama, nuclear reacts, guide making, and all that kind of other stuff, right? It is not just a plague for all content creators. It depends on what kind of content you want to make as a content creator.
I've changed for the most part because I have gathered a lot of people's opinions, and now I kind of, you know, have like a mixed opinion of both as like a content creator and like a player. But when I'm playing this game, first of all, I see no content I can make in the game, but like putting that aside as like a content creator, even as like a casual player, bro, like I probably wouldn't play this game as well because again, it just gets like repetitive. Nothing really is too fun in here. Combat is for a little bit, but at the end of the day, it just resorts to left clicking, clicking E and clicking Q, and that kind of stuff. There really is an exploration. There's like 1 or 3 chests, but you know, it looks really good though. Don't get me wrong. Like it looks really good, but it's just not enough for it to feel like an actual, very lively city. Story 10 out of 10. Oh, aesthetic 10 out of 10. I agree with that. Characters 10 out of 10. I don't agree with that one. Music 10 out of 10. I could see 10 out of 10. I give it a 9, but graphics 10 out of 10. Okay. The only thing I don't agree with here is the story and characters, but yeah, other than that. Combat, yeah, combat, I don't want to be that harsh and give it like a 1 out of 10, but it's definitely like very bad, and it'll get stale like very, very fast. It's an 8.5, I guess. Wow, he actually likes it a lot.
That is really, really high for Zenless Zone Zero. I don't think Zenless Zone Zero is close to an 8 right now. I legitimately don't think Zenless is an 8 right now. I think when Wuthering Waves, when I first fought the hologram, okay, that was actually my 8 moment. When I got my ass fucked sideways by Tempest Memphis, that was my 8 moment. I'm a masochist. I like getting fucked by the bosses. I don't think I've had a moment in Zenless Zone Zero where I exceeded 8 yet. Maybe if I got like Soldier 11 or Rina, I might close. Maybe if I win the 50-50 on Julian and get it in the first 10 pool, I will bring this game up to an 8. Yo, box 2, I'ma keep it a buck. This review, yeah, I'm a bump it below Mtashed, honestly, because at least Mtashed, he kept it a buck. He kept it a buck that he just straight up just hates the game. And he actually played it for a considerable amount of time. Blood played the game until, like, okay, like, to be fair, it is his first impression, right? It's not a valuable first impression. It's kind of like, yes, you are entitled to your first impression, even though you are, like, level 9 or what the fuck. But it's kind of like, people wouldn't care about the first impression of, like, the fucking water you drink in the restaurant when you first enter. They will want a first impression of, like, at least the fucking appetizer, right? Or like the main course. Nobody cares about the first impression. How was the chair? Yeah, the chair in the restaurant felt pretty good. It was pretty comfy. A little bit painful at the back. Yeah, the position of the aircon. Yeah, nobody really cares about that first impression. So objectively, this first it could use a little bit more depth. Next review is going to be okay. Gacha Smack. We've seen this before, and in the interest of time, I'm not gonna react to the whole thing because holy shit, my man yaps. Yep, let's just jump straight into the summary.
I want to end the video off with my overall experience.
Great, right? So it's always like, yep, great.
With Zenless Zone Zero.
Absolutely.
This might surprise you. I've been loving it. They heard me the entire stream say, I don't know what everybody's tripping about. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying it. But I ain't spent a single fucking penny. And I told y'all, you go into these gacha games not spending a single penny, your expectations are incredibly low. And more importantly, you're getting free entertainment. And for free entertainment, to say this game is garbage, you're just disingenuous or an idiot. I'm sorry.
Okay, pause. He made a interesting point here. If this is a free gacha game, your expectations are incredibly low and you are getting free entertainment. I don't know why, but I keep thinking of like physical products. Like if you pay like $5 for like a Chinese buffet in the UK, you don't expect to eat like gourmet food, right? It's just you just get full. Or if you pay like $2 for a shirt on Shein, you just expect like it's a decent shirt. It's a cheap ass shirt. So you don't expect too much. But specifically for a gacha game, I think this statement, or even like games in general, I think this statement it is not exactly representative because let's be real, every single fucking gacha game is free. It's up to you whether you want to spend the money. It's kind of like every single gacha game is kind of like, it's like a trial game. And it's their job to like kind of hook the player base into how much do you like these characters to the point where you open up your wallet and buy them. I think it's not as applicable compared to, let's just say, like real world products.
Is for free entertainment, to say this game is garbage, you're just disingenuous or an idiot.
Exactly, because there's so much free entertainment nowadays. Would I rather spend 6 hours playing Zenless Zone Zero's TV, or would I rather spend 6 hours watching Demon Slayer Season 4? Okay, technically it's not free. It's you gotta watch it on Netflix, but like, you know what I mean? Like, entertainment time, it is very limited. It takes very long to kind of get to a stage where it is not completely like button meshing.
You're either disingenuous or an idiot. There's no way you can look at this game, this level of quality and the things I went over and say that it is garbage. You're a fucking moron.
Okay, if you say it's a garbage game, I think it is pretty disingenuous. I think if you say that Zenless Zone Zero is a complete garbage game, like the amount of like art, music, and the animations developed, I think it's a very, very, very well polished game.
It's not a Gacha Smack video without me calling somebody a moron. I think y'all know this by that point. I've been loving it personally. If I had to give it a rating on a scale from 1 out of 10, I'm thinking a 7. I am. In my rating, bear in mind.
Okay, I think that's pretty fair. But that the initial statement felt like I was gonna give you a 9. It felt like a 9 statement, like, oh my god, okay, 7 is a pretty fair rating.
It's based off of its competitors and their launches. Wuthering Waves launched because of all those bugs and shit. It was like a 8.5.
Did you say 8.5?
It was like a 8.5.
Wuthering Waves launch was 8.5. You're trolling. Wuthering Waves launch was unplayable. I crashed 4 times on stream. And I have a 4080. It was legit unplayable. At least for me, I'm a relatable player, right? Nah. Wuthering Wave launch was it was something else. It was legitimately something else. The amount of shit that happened in launch, I'll be surprised if I give it more than a 5. I'm gonna keep it about, man. That's crazy.
You know, Zenless Zone Zero, 7, maybe even a 7.5. That's my personal opinion. I've been enjoying this.
Okay, even if Wuthering Waves was not... Okay, you disregard the crashes, right? Disregard Wuthering Waves crashes. the amount of bugs that was happening, it was obscene. There was the time freeze bug. There was the fucking the Qiyan's weapon was mistranslated in fucking JP. Players were fucking doxed. Then like there was a delay. The server crashed. Like so many things happened on the launch. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Game, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it the most, you know, beautiful thing?
Yo, sorry guys, I can't say that, right? Because if I say that, that means I'm a Hoyo shill. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry, Kuro Games. I'm sorry, Dev Season. I'm Dev Season guy. Right? I am the Dev Season guy. I love Wuthering Waves. It is the best game in the world. A 10 out of 10 launch. Absolutely nothing happened.
Since the dawn of gaming, no, but it's great and it's free. And damn it, boy, I love me some free fun. Very pog. Thanks for watching. These are my first impressions. I will be doing a full review of the game once we get to the end game. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Okay, I feel like Gacha Smack's review, it was very like well-rounded. He didn't just talk about combat and story, that's it. He talked about the music, he talked about the fucking comic book, the visual novel, TV system, dialogue, combat and build. This thing, blah, yeah, for like a whole 10 minutes over here. A character design, going very in detail into like world design. He really went to like every nook and cranny. I think this is one of the most overall design. I think this is a very well covered design. Maybe some of the points might not even be related to what the players are looking for, because let's just be real, if you're a casual gamer, you probably don't even care a lot about the half things here. The only thing you probably care about as a casual player is like the story and the combat. I think that's what most casual players cares about. As long as you get to play the game, as long as the story is good and then the combat feels nice and everything, there's tits. He legit went on to like the music, the fucking floors. He went into like a fucking random traffic cone to say, oh my god, it's just well designed, and like the tracks and everything, like legitimately everything, right? So like I would say Gacha Smack, it was a very holistic view. It was a very holistic. I'll give this an S tier. I'll give this an S tier. Is it better than MrPokke's review? I'll fucking mute. I'll fucking ban off you. What do y'all think? Yo, mods, run a poll. Yo, mods, run a poll. Wait, my chat objectively agrees that my review is better than Gacha Smack's review, right? That was the poll result just now, right? Oh wow, an overwhelming 82% of my chat believes that my review was better. 82%, that's really good. Let's move on to the next review, which is going to be HexJuice. Ooh, HexJuice. That's a spicy review if I've ever seen one. Let's take a look-see at what we have over here, ladies and gentlemen. HexJuice review.
Thinking about it was that I feel like the game was not represented to be what it was going to be. Most of my problems, to be real with you, are fully related to the live stream, like the release live stream. The release live stream had 3 things that I feel were entirely not accurate, misrepresented, or like just a straight up lie. So I'm gonna tell you what those 3 things are.
So basically, she's a Kuro shill. She is a Kuro shill. It is what it is. How dare they talk smack about our great Hoyo live stream? She's a Kuro shill, guys. It is what it is.
The game advertised there being 180 free pulls, and they did this whole insane show about like Dawei going 20 extra pulls for the players. You get a pull. You get a pull. Look at our insane generosity. But really, the reality of the situation is like, yeah, you do get 180 free pulls. The vast majority of you get purely from grinding the game. Very few of those pulls were actually quote unquote free pulls, unless you don't value your own time. Having to spend your time on the game to get those pulls does not make them free, even though you didn't have to you didn't have to spend money, I guess, but your time is value too, especially in gacha.
It was a little bit of a clickbait, if I can say so myself. Neutrally speaking, that was a little bit of a clickbait from Zenless Zone Zero live stream. It was a slight bit. Was it like factually false? Maybe not, right? You're still gonna get them for free, technically speaking, but was it clickbait? Probably. It was. They utilized the rank 1 strategy by content creators.
Also, almost all of them were for the standard banner or for the bongbus, which aren't even pulls that you can spend money on. I don't believe. I don't think you can buy bongbu pulls if I remember.
It's basically friendship summons. If you play Nikkei, you say your friendship points couple of that. You got a disc. You got blah, 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 friendship summons.
I didn't like that it wasn't made clear where you get those pulls from. Do I think that they should have just let us log on and bust out 180 pulls instantly? No, but it would have been nice if they didn't call it like you know, advertise it that way when that's kind of what it seemed like we were gonna do.
Hey, it is what it is, you know?
I didn't particularly like about the game, or I didn't like about the advertising or how the game was sort of put in front of you. They did not really address the TV situation in the live stream, right? They sort of very specifically didn't show any TV gameplay, anything like that. They didn't address what they were going to be doing in the future with the TVs. Like, there was no detailed information about the TVs, and I think the reality of that is because the second that they saw TVs in the live stream, people would have been like, oh my fucking god, they're still fucking there, because people have hated those TVs since the first beta test. And then when you get into the game, it's like so much TVs, especially the beginning of the game. Is the first 5 hours of the game is a crazy amount of TV gameplay, considering that they didn't acknowledge that there was so much of it, and considering
I mean, it is because at the start of the game where there's like a shit ton of story missions, side quests, it is mainly going to be tied to the TV. Yeah, but I agree. It can be very, very overwhelming.
the fact that in 3 beta tests, people hated them and they didn't take them out completely. And then the third thing for me is just simply this line about it being a combat-focused gameplay, because when you say something, it should be true.
Wait, so basically HexJuice's problem with why does everyone hate... Okay, this legitimately could have been my issues with Zenless Zone Zero's live stream. Like, straight up.
Eventually, maybe it's a combat-focused game. But the vast majority of people played this shit and were like, all I'm doing is playing fucking TVs. How is this a combat-focused game? And I think that was actually a really reasonable feeling to come into it and have all of these things be like not entirely represented or not entirely like truthful in the release of the live stream. Like, that feels like ass. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the hardest thing about the game, the biggest focus of the game is your patience. That's the demon you're fighting at the beginning of this game. People already don't trust Hoyoverse, and then it felt like, okay, so this is exactly what I expect from untrustworthy Hoyoverse. I don't want to play it then. And I think that is absolutely and 100% a legitimate reaction from a consumer if they don't trust the corporation, that if they immediately feel that they are validated and not trusting that corporation, that they don't want to continue trying it and that they're just going to shit on it. And so I don't think it's a consumer's responsibility to continue trying. I'm glad that I have, because once I understand better what the actual game is and not what Hoyoverse lied about, it is actually pretty enjoyable. If you go into this with the experience, with expecting the experience of a brain rot gacha game with nice music and cool animations and interesting character designs and a lot of refreshing shit, right? I think this could be a game for you. But if you're going into it expecting what you thought you were going to get from the fucking game, you're not going to enjoy it, and that is Hoyoverse's fault. I don't think it matters. I don't think it should matter. Because, like, I don't think you should have to play through X amount of hours in order to enjoy the game.
Okay. This point is a very, very valid point. I don't think a player should go through X amount of hours just to enjoy the game. Just like, you know, at the end of the day, if a game doesn't hit the review, it's like, it's 2024, guys. It's 2024. Would you rather spend fucking 10 hours staring at TV, or would you rather spend 10 hours finish up, like, I don't know, like Breaking Bad? I'll choose Breaking Bad every single time, right? Entertainment time is very, very precious. Imagine working at night, they say, and you come back home and you play TV. Fucking crazy, man. So I think this is a very, very... You don't have to play the full game to realize that you don't enjoy it. You're not forced to play the game for like 10, 20 hours and then, only then, can you say, fuck this game. Nah, I think this is a very, very valid take and it's completely fine.
I'm going to continue to try it because I do genuinely want to understand, because I've said over and over again how much I want to like the game. And I get paid to play the game.
10 hours on ZZ or 10 hours on Elden Ring, I'll play 100 hours on Elden Ring any day.
So it's fine. It's not me losing out on my time. But I don't think anybody in this chat needs to continue giving the game space or time or hope if you don't like it. But you can watch me and maybe decide later that you do like it. I think this game has a lot of problems really early on that makes it feel like ass.
You won't be playing Elden Ring for much longer when I beat it before you fall. Shut the fuck up.
For me, when I had a paradigm shift, I sat down and I had me a paradigm shift. I decided, okay, I'm going to go into this with the same expectations that I had for Cookie Run Kingdom. I'm going into this with the expectations.
Oh my god, the game that Tectone himself has forsaken.
I adored that game. But nobody's gonna sit here and talk and expect anything all that special from Cookie Run Kingdom gameplay. The point of this game is that I get to look at cool animations and characters, have cool music, fun vibe, and do a little bit of fighting here and there, and let's see how it feels if I play the game with those expectations and not the ones that Hoyoverse gave me by sort of lying. And I find it a lot more enjoyable. Do I think it's perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This game has a lot of problems, and I do not cannot blame a single person who doesn't want to play it or doesn't like it. I think the game is mid as shit. I think the game is super mega mid, and if you don't like it and you don't want that brain rot, I don't think you should play it. It's mid. But that doesn't mean that like it's not worth playing in any way, shape, or form. I think that sometimes mid is kind of what you need because you don't necessarily want every gacha game you play to be something that you really have to put time and effort into. You don't want to play like 4 gacha games that require much of your time or effort or energy. Maybe you just want a gacha game where you can kind of brain rot and not try that hard and not think that much about it, and I think that's okay. I think that they were dishonest in the way that they initially chose to market the game, and if you're mad about that, you should be. You're not realistically expecting anything that insane from most gacha gameplay.
Okay, wait, before we continue, I just want to say HexJuice is, I think she's one of the first reviewees so far, out of our long list of reviewees so far. She was the first reviewee that based her expectations of Wuthering Waves on the dev live stream. So it's a very fresh perspective. It's a very fresh perspective. I'm being extra neutral. I'm being extra neutral. She's a very fresh set of perspective because most other reviewees is legitimately they go in, log in, and they play the game for a couple of hours and they give a take based on whatever experiences they've had in the game itself. So HexJuice having lies told to her by the dev live stream, right? 180 pulls, no TV, and I think there's one more thing like a combat focus game where it's not a combat focus game. It's a very interesting. This isn't really. This is just kind of my thoughts. I see. All right, I'll fire my mod then because I asked him to give me a review. All right, HexJuice disqualified for not having a review. Absolutely cardinal. Wait, no review from HexJuice. Also, I'm firing my mod because apparently this is not a review. All right, next review. Eango. All right, we've seen Eango's video. We have seen Eango's video. Why I quit Zenless Zone Zero.
I am so done.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. This is a solid A tier review. This is a solid A tier review. Right amount of sarcasm, right amount of seriousness, right amount of goofy ass. I especially liked this segment where he did this. Oh my god, this was so peak.
First off, don't play on mouse and keyboard because if
where he
do,
showed his gamer gunk on his mouse.
You're just going to be doing this constantly.
And it was great. It was really good.
Finger. So
I think it's a solid A. I mean, the only reason why we're not gonna give it S is because, you know, shit. Your streamer, right? Your streamer. But yeah. I would say as a satire review, this is a solid A. Yes, we have to leave the peak reviews for like actual fucking reviews, right? Actual first impression reviews. So like, yeah, it is what it is. I would say Eango's video is a solid A. This is really good.
Which you should. You should not be playing on mouse and keyboard. So do play on controller, but then the problem I have is that my cord is way too short. So this kind of makes me like have to constantly contort my head.
Yeah, it's so good.
Then I'm constantly kind of having like neck pain while playing this game. But then also if I like contort too much, the controller bends and then kind of like unplugs itself. So it just did that there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, basically this is how the video goes 90% of the time. So yeah, honestly, an excellent review. A solid A tier. Asmongold. We have also watched his review as well, unless it's his
Zenless Zone Zero. A lot.
Yeah, we have watched his review as well. Let's go experience it because 40 minutes is kind of doable.
Game is ass.
So I want to talk about the real reason why people are not.
Okay, I don't even think this is his review, guys. This is his react to a review. Okay, I think this part.
Because for now, especially. Like, okay, PGR is better. Here's the thing.
PGR, who gives a fuck about that? That's punishing Grey Raven. That game came out like 8 years ago, 6 years.
This is the real review. It says, wahaha, you're gone.
There's not a lot
to
it.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know it. Yeah, okay.
Like, I think that's the best way I can say it. It's just, there's not a lot to it. Like, there's just not, and like, there are good things in the game. It's just like, there's so much unnecessary filler and stuff. Like, and I think also, like, if you want to say that, yeah, you can skip the story, I don't think that...
I'm here.
I don't think that sounds good. Like, that shouldn't be the solution to skip the story. The solution should be to make a story that you don't want to skip.
To be completely fair, there's very little gacha games that can do that. Even Honkai Starbucks, the first ever fucking space sailing station, nobody gave a shit until BattleBot came out. So to be completely fair, it's very difficult to get the first chapter up.
Like, yeah, you can skip the story.
I appreciate the skip.
I think if you made the story more concise, then people wouldn't feel like they have to. And then, like, the TV thing, like moving the bombs to the train. There's a lot of good things about the game. Well, like what? The combat is extremely responsive and clean.
Insane.
The graphics for the game like, for what the aesthetic that they're trying to create is, they have
Insane.
achieved that 1-for-1.
Insane. Nuclear W for Hoyoverse. 4 times speed. Alright, my bad.
But is it fun? I will play through it, and I will go through everything. It's not a bad game. It's like putting your dick in the door and slamming it, and while your dick hurts. Yeah, I get it. So,
The fuck? Okay.
here's what I think we're gonna do. Tomorrow, we're gonna play it some more. No, I'm just kidding. Tomorrow, I think here's what I'm gonna do. And I'm thinking that we're either gonna play First Descendant or do some more Elden Ring. I kind of want to play some more First Descendant. Because, like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, whenever I was playing the game, I was like, I really kind of wish I was playing the other game, right? And I kind of feel like playing more First Descendant and doing some of that. Because, like, I've been enjoying that game a lot. It's been really fun. And I think I'm going to do that tomorrow, or maybe play some more of my Faith build in Elden Ring. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to decide then. Or I might just do something else random, right? But yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And yeah. Charles been going heavy in the First Descendant. Can't be that bad. Yeah, I've been watching him a little bit. Yeah, you're right. My first impressions yesterday were a 6. I feel like it's kind of gone down a little bit. I'm going to play through the rest of the story off stream.
Ooh, I think this is the first time someone said their impression of the game actually went down. Insane. So now it's basically like a 5.
But I do want to use this as a reference point.
Or 4.
Halfway through doing the story, I felt the urge to go buy a new mattress. I don't know what that says, but it's something. So guys, thanks a lot for watching today. Really appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll do some other stuff. When I finish all of the endgame and everything in this game, I'll play it again on stream at that point, and then give a more in-depth analysis of it. You know, I'll talk about it more. But we'll see what's gonna happen, okay?
To be completely fair, this is the man that's been comparing like Elden Ring DLC. It is really, really hard to kind of mention, because let's be real. The amount of things to do in Elden Ring is not even close, right? So very, very, very interesting review on the first impressions. I'll give it like a B. There was too much moonwalking. My head was starting to hurt. I'm losing balance. I'm losing focus, and I'm gonna puke from all of the moonwalking. It was way too much. And Blood basically became Joe Biden, right? We were stuck in the time loop for like 10 minutes. So it could have been a little bit more precise. I still think it's better than Box 2 though. Yeah, it's still better than Box 2, so it is what it is. I'll give this a tier below Mtashed in my opinion. I'll give it a tier below Mtashed. Next review. Gamespot. This is a proper review. This is a proper review, right? Professional review. This is an actual review.
Right? Is Hoyoverse's 3rd game launch in 4 years. So you'd think that Hoyo's formula would get stale with yet another free-to-play gacha RPG dropping just 15 months after the release of Honkai Star Rail. But that couldn't be further from the truth.
Insane.
The developer has managed to create another familiar but distinct gameplay experience by once again learning from past missteps to deliver a game that is both iterative and innovative at the same time.
Oh my
the downside
God.
here, however, is that Zenless puts several new and interesting elements together, but forces you to spend the most time with the least interesting of the bunch.
Ooh, insane. Time played 30 hours played on PC. Review code was provided by the publisher by Eden. Insane.
Zenless Zone Zero has more style and aesthetic excellence than both Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, all in a smaller package in terms of world size.
Oh my God, look at this hunky man.
And scale of locations. At this point, Genshin Impact's open world has become almost too large and sprawling to facilitate a comfortable compact mobile gaming experience.
Alright, Zenless Zone Zero is better than Genshin Impact. Hey, rebel up, boys.
Being its best experienced on PC or console. Meanwhile, Star Rail is the exact opposite, because its turn-based combat and auto battle features are a perfect fit for mobile devices. Zenless Zone Zero sits squarely in the middle of those two experiences by combining roguelike puzzle dungeons, fast-paced action combat, and life sim activities into one varied game loop.
Oh my God, the best of both worlds, guys. Holy nuclear glazing. Oh my God, this man is a fucking Kuro shell. Sorry, a Hoyo shell. Oh my God, that's insane, chat.
It also deviates from what we've come to expect from Hoyoverse. The world building is still strong, but it's scaled back considerably. Instead of high-stakes conflicts with gods and higher powers, so far, Zenless Zone Zero has you follow the daily lives of 2 tech genius siblings, Wise and Bell, as they find ways to make money legally and illegally. You get to pick which sibling you play as, but no matter which one you go with, both remain in the story as characters who get regular dialogue. The main difference is that you choose what your protagonist says and control them while exploring the city of New Eridu. Wise and Bell work as proxies, individuals who can share share their consciousness and sync with small electronic
Oh my,
creatures
that's
named Bang
so
Boos.
cool.
Syncing with a Bang Boo allows the duo to use the Hollow Deep Dive system to guide scavengers known as Hollow Raiders as they explore
Oh
and navigate
my god, I didn't
dangerous,
even know
shifting
that they're called
dimensions
Hollow
called
Raiders.
hollows.
That's crazy,
All of
guys.
these terms get thrown at you from the jump, but
that's
they become
crazy.
relatively easy to piece together and remember by the end of the prologue chapter. The siblings use and share the alias Phaethon when working as proxies, since scavenging hollows for treasure and loot is an illegal line of work. They're
Oh
the
my
most
God.
well-known
They're
proxies in
breaking
New
the
Eridu, though.
laws?
So Hollow Raiders often pay them
They're
top
not in
dollar
my
for their
Christian
services.
stream.
And
Not in my
outside of their
Christian stream.
persona, they manage an old-school video rental store called Random Play to earn money on the right side of the law as a cover-up for their shadier ventures.
So it's basically Walter White and Jesse Pinkman.
Zenless Zone Zero does an amazing job at addressing the pacing problems that have plagued past Hoyo games.
Welcome to Los Pollos Hermanos. Our chicken is fresh, never frozen, straight from the heart of Chile. Or whatever the fuck it is.
By telling its story with stellar presentation. Comic book paneling and character portraits keep nearly all major dialogue from becoming stale. The comics keep you engaged as you slide from scene to scene, with the option to return to previous panels if you miss any information. Meanwhile,
Oh my god, you could go next, guys. You can go next and go back. Oh my fucking god. That's why I haven't games thought of this sooner. The ability to go back so that I can listen to Paimon Yep again for the 5 minutes. It is just impeccable design.
character
Absolutely
portrait
insane.
conversations are fully animated to convey realistic emotions through mannerisms that help you understand the demeanor of the characters who are speaking. Anby, Billy, and Cole are the first Hollow Raiders you meet, and they're the perfect trio to demonstrate how dynamic these conversations can be. Anby's
Insane.
monotone voice and calm demeanor next to Billy's over-the-top expressions are felt even through the comic panel stills, thanks to some great
Yippee.
voice acting. In fact, many of the
Okay,
vocal
wait. I don't think this part has been the voice acting of Zenless Zone Zero is actually so fucking good. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god, when Grace shouted at me, I almost jumped out of my chair and cried because it was so scary.
The biggest part of the gameplay loop has you accepting commissions for the citizens of New Eridu by exploring hollows while completing different objectives. You control a Bang Boo as it moves through TV sets like a tiled board, and similar to a board game, certain TVs trigger special events that lead to combat, extra dialogue, rewards, and more. It's just that combat is the most engaging aspect of Zenless Zone Zero gameplay-wise, thanks to Hoyoverse making it look as beautiful as possible. The smooth movements and flashy effects had me hooked instantly.
Oh my god, instantly, guys.
There are two main offense
Holy
buttons, one for
shit,
basic
that's
attacks and the other for
crazy.
special attacks.
I'm
The meter
hooked.
fills
I'm
as you
addicted to
perform
Zenless
basic
Zone Zero.
attacks, but as noted earlier, the combat is too easy, especially early on before hard mode and the end game are unlocked. You can button mash all you want as long as you get your defensive timing down. Defensive timing matters because
Okay,
there
that
are
is a
no
very,
healers
very
on
fair
the
take.
roster.
That's
Instead,
a
you
fair
can
take.
pick up and use healing items while moving through the TVs and the hollows. There are agents who create shields and specialize in tanking or support as alternatives, but realistically, you should be avoiding most damage with well-timed evades. Your choice of attacks rarely feels like it matters though, as long as you can keep up a combo to gain decibels, the energy that fuels ultimate attacks. But I don't need to worry about each character's unique moveset because enemy encounters consistently feel trivial. Unless you're going up against a boss, which are often fun and cool battles, mobs just stand around waiting to be killed while throwing out attacks that would barely hurt even if they did land. Maybe this will change as we move forward from version 1.0. But as of right now, even the higher difficulty fights could stand to be harder. On the flip side, this allows you to build whichever characters you like most without worrying about any sort of meta, for the most part. Your choice of party members is almost more important than what you actually do with them in combat, as having a mixture of weapon ranges and elemental abilities to target enemies' weaknesses makes fights easier. Agents with the same faction or elemental attribute also gain extra combat abilities. It's a nice touch that characters who know each other and work together in the story have added meaningful synergy in combat. The Random Play store is located in the first main hub, 6th Street. And besides your managerial duties, you can also go buy and eat food for temporary combat buffs and play minigames at the local arcade, among other activities. These activities themselves are nothing special, but they do introduce you to several other stores and NPCs in the neighborhood that
Last time I played Snake, my game killed itself.
make the world feel lived in. You'll find a surprising number of unique looking NPCs to interact with for side commissions if you take the time to walk around 6th Street and the other small hubs. And you can even chat with the agents across the city who are just living their regular lives. The character designs are fun and fitting for the world. There are several factions that each house 2 or more unique agents. You can tell which agents belong to which faction almost immediately thanks to their clothing or uniform, but the characters often feel distinct in both
Yeah, so like the furry faction, the Lolly faction, and the Aboba faction. Very, very good.
Style and personality. There's also a day and night cycle and persona-like social link system that allows you to spend time with individual agents and complete character-specific side quests and raise their trust level for rewards as time passes. It's nice to have another meaningful way to interact with your favorite characters outside of story commissions. On the character building side of things, you can grind for nearly all currency and level up materials in 2 places. The Hollow and
You can grind for all currency, guys, except you can't grind for stamina. So you technically can't grind for all.
For gacha games that aren't based on established properties, I usually find 1 or 2 features or moments early on that really suck me in. Whether it's appealing gameplay, amazing character designs, a forgiving pity system, or something else entirely. Genshin Impact has its vast open world complemented by deep lore, and Star Rail has its simple yet challenging turn-based combat mixed with sci-fi fantasy. Zenless Zone Zero's aesthetic is what grabs me, but I don't know if I've found the thing that persuades me to become a daily player who may even spend a little money. It feels like it should be the combat system, but the enemy encounters feel too basic and few in numbers as you progress naturally through the main storyline before unlocking Hollow Zero and Shiyu Defense. For the majority of the experience, I just enjoyed the retro-futuristic vibe while seeing the numbers get higher. Zenless Zone Zero is yet another solid entry in the HoYoverse portfolio as of version 1.0, and it's easy to see the potential as new agents get added alongside story commissions. The current experience still shines thanks to how fun and vibrant the direction is in all facets of the game. It's a shame that all the bright spots are dimmed by a complete lack of meaningful challenges when it comes to nearly all commissions for both.
I really like that phrase. It's a shame that the bright spot got deemed by a couple of challenges. Very nice, very neutral, very neutral. I'll probably add it to my vocabulary. What is it again?
That all the bright spots are dimmed by a complete lack of meaningful challenges.
All the bright spots, they are deemed by a complete lack of challenges. I'll add that to my neutral dictionary.
When it comes to nearly all commissions for both puzzles and combat in the early chapters of the game.
7 out of 10. You know what, shit? I'm gonna keep it, but I don't care if this paid or not paid. It's actually really not that bad of a review. I feel like they legitimately touched on the 2 most glaring points that people were complaining, which is the TV. It can be a bit of a drag. And the combat was just way too easy to start. It's a very, very professional review. I'll give it like A. I'll give it like a solid A. Not quite peak yet, you know. There can only be a couple of peaks here and there. I'll give it like an A review, honestly. Like legit. Okay, this is like, okay, considering the fact that Eango is complete satire, a legitimate review this good, I'll give it like an A. Okay, next video. Oofie. Clear, genuinely new clear. Blood is a Pokke watcher. And the state of Gacha CCs. Oh my god. Oh, this is something spicy. So it's a review plus something. It's like an extra dessert on the side.
Genuine nuclear
Genuine,
take on
genuinely.
So
genuinely.
yes, I am VTuber mode, but it is what it is. Anyway, so everyone wants to compare Zenless Zone Zero to other games, and I don't think that's right. It's really hard to compare Zenless Zone Zero to other newer gacha games because it's just different. It's made differently, it has a different focus, and it's obviously a very niche type of gacha game. Comparing games to decide if they're good is not a great way to rate them. Nowadays, if a game is good, it's often being compared to another game. People conclude a game is good or bad based on that comparison, and not on the actual game's merits. And that is not how we should be determining whether a game is good or not. It should be based on critical thinking and criteria like combat, lore, storytelling, music, rather than just comparing it to other games that probably aren't even the same type or focus. Once you start comparing games, it becomes more about which game is better, rather than evaluating the pros and cons.
Look at this hue cat. Yo, chat, don't look at the screen. You look at this hue cat, right?
This often leads to drama, with content creators having
Oh god, I'm done, bro. I'm fucking done. Dude, the only reason why my video is there, because fucking Tectone removed his video. Tectone removed his video, guys. He removed it. Alright. Oh my god, nah, I'm done. This is satire. This is fucking sad. Oh my god, I'm so fucking done. Yeah, disqualified. Alright, let's move on to the next one. What's the next one?
differing opinions, turning into drama, where one creator is labeled a shill and the other is just a
Okay, Brian is basically just taking a shot at everyone. Yo, chat, she is taking... This VTuber is completely out of hand. This VTuber is just destroying everyone and everything.
hater, or it's said that this creator is just jumping on the hate train, blah, 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 blah. It's all really fucking stupid in my opinion. I hate seeing...
Wait, did you just call me stupid?
like good friends and peers argue and get upset and mad at each other over opinions on a fucking video game. A lot of the time it's pretty civil and resolved within the day, but lately I have been noticing that it has just been nuclear lately, and it's annoying, to be honest. As a 30-year-old, I'm too old for this middle school drama type bullshit. Anyways, I genuinely like Zenless Zone Zero. I think a lot of people don't understand its structure and what the developers ultimately intended for it. Yes, it's easy at first, but you're not even out of the tutorial until level 23. The same thing happened with Honkai Impact 3rd.
Which is crazy, by the way. I think a tutorial that lasts for 23 levels is a little bit crazy.
They want you to get used to the combat and mechanics before reaching in-game. A lot of people are also saying things like, the characters are bland, there's no distinction between S ranks and B ranks, and blah blah blah. It was the same with Honkai 3rd.
Wait, that's box 2. Oh my god, dude. Oofie legit took a shot at everyone. I swear, legitimately everyone.
It was the same with Honkai 3rd. But once you progress in the story and game, the lore deepens and you learn more about the gear, and the higher level equipment can
Oh my god, she plays Honkai Impact 3, guys. A game that no one plays. That's crazy.
do the lore, like the Hershers and the Divine Keys and stuff like that. You'll start to see in-game then. Right now, we're just dipping our toes in. Zenless Zone Zero is still at the surface level. In Honkai 3rd, the meme is true. The in-game starts at level 81. I believe Zenless Zone Zero
What? Shut the fuck up. Level 81 for endgame. Okay. Self in-game. There's way too many ones, man. That's crazy.
Zero will follow a similar structure regarding when the in-game begins. Everyone saying that it's too easy needs to realize that we're not even close to in-game yet.
We just saw the CN players clearing the actual endgame content. Floor 16 and floor 17. Not a lot has changed. Yeah, but the actual endgame in Zenless Zone Zero, it ultimately becomes a health check. A DPS check, my bad. A DPS check. Movesets are roughly the same, aggression is roughly the same, mob spawn, actually it's a little bit lesser, because it kind of lumps up with the boss, so you kind of have to just push the mobs towards the boss. And yeah, they hit a little bit harder, but they don't one-shot you anyways, so you can just dodge and parry. I think the number one biggest change in endgame is basically use your fucking dazed units. Yeah, just dodge a little bit better. Just see the tring and you prepare a little bit better and just get better relics.
We didn't even get a taste of the endgame until like chapter 17, 18. But anyways, I think Zenless Zone Zero is going to be the same. They're doing it differently than Genshin and Star Rail because it's niche. It's going to get a lot of hate because people aren't used to that structure. However, every Honkai 3rd player who has played Zenless Zone Zero has said that they felt at home in Zenless.
So basically I have one person, which is yourself. Dude, I said no one plays Honkai Impact 3. I legitimately swear no one plays Honkai Impact 3, alright? Okay, 239 is pretty crazy. 239 is actually pretty crazy. Yeah,
because they're used to that structure. This isn't even about the literal combat mechanics, but how the game is structured and focused. I think because people have the TikTok attention span of a goldfish, they expect Star Rail or Genshin type stories and gameplay that are immediate. No waiting for in-game. You can go straight to building characters and challenges with a new character every 2 weeks that benches the last one and the meta power creep. People are just so used to that, they forget that some games take things a little slower and put more thought into the lore behind the mechanics and things like that. There's more build-up to the in-game that helps raise the stakes. I think Zenless Zone Zero will get a lot of hate because people are just not used to this type of structure, but I also think that there will be a lot of hardcore Zenless Zone Zero players who will keep up with it. The Zenless Zone Zero devs have even said that they want it to be a game where people can play, stop playing for a while, and then come back when there's new content and still play effectively. I love that.
So basically Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, and basically every single Hoyo game, it's the same damn thing. Legit.
Because as someone who doesn't have a lot of time for all the gacha games out there, I like being able to drop a game for a month and then pick it back up without feeling
same. I love a game that allows you to just drop the game, like legitimately drop a game with no eames backing me up, and I can still play the game like 6 months later. Case in point, Elden Ring. Case in point, Sekiro. I can legit drop it and go back in if I want to play it. League of Legends. What is broken can be reforged. I can legit stop playing League of Legends for 10 years and still come back and play again.
Having played the betas, I had already seen the first few chapters up until the Hollow Zero stuff, so I skipped through the story until I reached the new content. I've been playing a couple of hours a night, even skipping the story. At level 23, without doing the main story, there's still plenty to do. Side commissions, walking around the city, talking to NPCs, grinding, farming, a lot. For the lore, I think they are easing us into it rather than overwhelming us with a bunch of gibberish. There is lore if you pay attention. Zenless Zone Zero is combat focused, which means it's going to be a very character focused game. Most of the content will be grinding and farming. I don't see it being like Star Rail or Genshin with new events or mini games like literally every week. Zenless Zone Zero is combat oriented, which means you'll be farming, you'll be grinding with a new story chapter every month or so. Another misconception is if their target demographic is these kids, then why do they sexualize the characters? But I don't believe Zenless Zone Zero is targeting kids. I think their demographic is probably the group of 20 to 26-year-olds on Twitter, Tumblr, who are super into shipping discourse and parasocial relationships with fictional characters.
So basically the entirety of the Hoyo community.
As a side note, I really don't like the trope of the ambiguous-looking characters who turn out to be children, which Hoyoverse famously loves to do. As a 30-year-old who is 5 feet tall and has a small build, it would be great to get a character.
Pokke 26 card.
I'm 26, I play more things beyond Hoyo games, alright? I'll play Malenia right now, I'm just kidding. I'll play another day.
With my body type who isn't a fucking child. Anyway, I love Zenless Zone Zero for what it is, not for the same reasons I love Star Rail or Wuthering Waves. I am only level 23 and currently doing the Soldier 11 quest, so I'm not that far into the game, but I do keep coming back to Zenless Zone Zero every day. I feel like I'm not doing much in the game, but it is fun. I think it will be a great side game, and I'll probably play until my characters are maxed, then take a break and focus on other games, and picking up Zenless Zone Zero again when a new story chapter releases.
I think it's a pretty cute little neutral review. I'm actually quite surprised that chat didn't say glazing at all, because I swear to God, every other review so far, as long as you say something bad, you're either glazing Hoyo or you're glazing Kuro. And today, actually, chat didn't say the word glazing, which is kind of crazy. And also, she took a shot at pretty much everybody. If I had a rank, I think this is a pretty solid A as well. It's between the top of B or like around where Eango is. Actually, you know what? I'll give it top of B. It's not exactly just about Zenless Zone Zero, because it was also a little bit of a, you know, our dessert, our extras. You know, we had a little bit of a dash of a creator drama here and there. So got a little bit off tangent there. It's like you're not really answering the exams questions, right? It's like the exam question, what's your favorite food? And like, oh, by the way, do you know the sun is blue? Yeah, all the kind of stuff. So I would say the top of B. Overall, it's a pretty nuanced review overall. Yeah, it's pretty good. If you like the game, you like what it offers, it's a great game, right? Side game, all the kind of stuff. Just don't expect to be like, oh my fucking god, it's just gonna be the best combat game in the world I've ever seen. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think stioorg, we've watched it before. stioorg was the one that he got death threats. He got a bomb threat, right? Yeah, we've seen it before. Holy shit, what the fuck happened to this review?
Yo, so I want to talk about the real reason why people are not satisfied with Zenless Zone Zero.
It's 5 minutes.
Showing my
If
opinion
you can't watch a 5-minute clip at 1.25 speed, you have zoomer brain. It is what it is.
Game. So let's get straight to the point. The first real reason why people are not satisfied with the game is like the game is too easy for them. All you have to do is left click. Some people aren't feeling the rewards from the gameplay, but I actually want to preface this and I want to say that the game for me is kind of enjoyable. I will probably rate it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 if I'm generous. But I want to say that the first like 20 levels of the game aren't very enjoyable until you actually get to the new modes and try some endgame mode, and it becomes a little more challenging the more you play it. And I think that if the game is going to be always casual like that, it's going to only like get a very, very, very niche audience, and it will probably be my first gacha game that I play on mobile. I do not enjoy gacha games on mobile, but I think this is going to be a good one. But another reason why
the first gacha game that stioorg will play on mobile, that's crazy. I legitimately don't remember the last time I played a game on mobile. Holy shit. Am I a boomer?
People aren't satisfied. I think that if the game launched before Wuthering Waves, I would think that it would get a better reception, because people already tried how you can get to.
If this game released before, okay, wait, chat, I'm about to make a very, very nuclear take. If this game launched before Wuthering Waves, and Wuthering Waves launched with the amount of shit that they had in the launch, Wuthering Waves would be irrelevant by now. Or is that too nuclear? Okay, let's tone it down a little bit. Wuthering Waves would have a much lower positive note. It was good because nobody was looking at Zenless Zone Zero yet anyways. So if they swapped, it might have been very good. Wuthering Waves legitimately, they cooked so hard with that early release and the dev changes and everything. So yeah,
one shot from bosses and how a lot of modes aren't that easy. And then we went to a very...
I will die on the hill that Wuthering Waves releasing before Zenless Zone Zero was a good move. This is my non-neutral. I legitimately think that it was a good move.
Easy game. I can see that point, but to be honest, let's be real, the game is overhated. I think that a lot of people are either hating for fun or the things that they don't like are just personal preference. Like for example, let's talk about the TV mode, okay? The TV mode is probably the worst thing they did on the game. And I actually agree that the TVs in a lot of things kind of useless. Like why did you put TVs here and there, and a lot of it in the main story? Like they need to change that. They need to make it easy.
I really think that I don't know. Maybe it's because I just got a stroke, my bad. Yo, my bad, chat. Yeah, I feel that the amount of hate TV has been getting, I feel like at this point it's kind of like, oh my god, it's so much. Because I feel like we have seen like almost every single review and everyone hates the TV. It's a whole lot of complaints, yes. But where I am at right now, as a free to by the way, I'm free to play on Zenless Zone Zero. So where I am at right now is like the TV don't impact me that much anymore.
Easier for a lot of people. To be honest, in modes like the simulated universe of this game, I actually enjoyed the TVs. Yes, I thought they had a meaning inside this mode, in only this mode. I thought, okay, keep the TVs in this mode. This is good. But in a lot of other modes, in a lot of other ways you play the game, there is no need to do TVs every time. So they definitely need to change TVs. But at the same time, I found that TVs are kind of personal preference too. Like I found some people that like TVs, and even myself, I kind of enjoy them sometimes. I won't say
You like TVs, you fucking cruel bot. Oh my god. Wait. Yo, my brain like, you like TVs, you're a whole shell. You're a whole shell. Yo, most better.
that I never enjoy TVs and puzzles,
my
but
brain is
maybe
dying,
because
guys.
I
My
like
brain is
puzzles,
dying.
you know? Would I say that most people like puzzles? I don't think so. No, the Zenless Zone Zero experience is good to see, not to play. At least for day one. After that, the game improves even more. Like I'm in day 2 now. But day 1 feels kind of slow. It feels kind of annoying. The game is...
Oh my god, wait, chat. I actually want to do a very nuclear poll for you guys. So for those of you guys who are still playing Zenless Zone Zero, right? Do you think the game improved after, like, I think it has been 5 days? Or deproved? Okay, so it's like 68%, 69% improved. And 88% improved for YouTube chat. That's very, very good. Oh my god, what the fuck happened now?
easy. Although the gameplay looks very, very good, it's not very...
Oh my god, the moment I started a poll for YouTube, I start lagging. Okay, YouTube, you guys are never getting posts.
It has some depth in it,
You
but
guys are never
don't
getting
need it.
posts.
That's my problem with Genshin.
You
But
guys are
even
never getting
Genshin
posts.
was more enjoyable as a start, or even for a whole month or two, to learn how to do the reaction, to dodge sometimes. But here, the mobs need like to hit you like 20, 30 times to kill you. This is insane. At least from the start. I'm talking like this is the start of the game. And I do know the game has to be easy from the start, especially for gachas. Even Wuthering Waves, the crownless fight, the first crownless fight is easy. But I think that they went too easy on the players. But looking at the gameplay is very, very...
Going too easy is okay. Going too easy for too long, I think that's where the problem comes up.
There's something about the game that's very smooth that I like. The movement looks very cool. There's a lot of things that are good in the game, but you cannot use that. You know, you cannot utilize what you're doing. So I do not think that the game is bad. I think there's a lack of difficulty in the game. That's it. Because, for example, I like the story. I like how they present the story. Even though I didn't expect to like it. I was like, okay, this is a visual novel. I won't be able to like this story. But no, the story was actually enjoyable to me. The gameplay is also enjoyable. There's some cool strategy to it. If the mobs are doing some damage, which they will do when you progress into the game. But it's still not enough for now. I hope that the more I progress into the game, a little challenging. I want to need to dodge at least once or twice. Because for now, especially day one, it felt like button mashing. You only like use left click and that's it. But here I want to call some people that are going like, okay, PGR is better. Here's the thing. I only played 15 hours of PGR. And I'm gonna be real, I think that PGR is just mashing the same button.
I have never heard of this argument before. Wait, people are comparing PGR to Zenless Zone? Oh my god, I've actually never heard of this comparison before. It's always been Wuthering based.
As a start, as an opinion, I think the start of the game isn't the best, isn't the most enjoyable. Does it deserve all the hate for now? No. We need to complete the whole thing. I actually don't think players should do everything. Let content creators do their thing. Let some free-to-play players go through the whole content.
Yo, free-to-play players. Is anyone looking for... Can we have a raise of hands? Who is a free-to-play player in Zenless Zone? Can I see? I don't really see. Oh, it's me! I am the free-to-play player. Oh my god, yo, you're waiting for me to complete. You know, a stioorg, you know, waiting for a free-to-play player to complete the game, you know. Shit, you know,
The devs are doing a bad job in presenting how the game will look like in the future, because they sometimes say, okay, it's a casual game, and then in the live stream go ahead and say, we will implement more harder things in the future. So yes, I will also blame HoYoverse for what they did. So anyway, that was my opinion. We will see in the future. That was the video. Bye bye.
I feel like this was a very generic review. Nothing too nuclear. It was legitimately like drinking plain water. I'm gonna keep it about. It's a very... The only thing not generic was the PGR comparison, which I have no fucking idea where that came from because I don't play PGR or... Because it lacks nuclear energy. It lacks the nuclear energy. I'm gonna give it a top of C. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what, actually... At least box with a little bit of a... It's not a matter of if your takes are right. It's a matter of the overall review. I think this was a very, very plain review. Way too plain. Or maybe it might be a little bit of bias because I've been... This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th review I've been looking. So yeah, I would say this is probably the most plain review so far. I think this is the most plain review so far. Alright. Next, Saint. Zenless Zone Zero versus Wuthering Waves. Which game is better by Saintonas?
Zenless Zone Zero, or ZZZ for short, has been met with polarized opinions across the gacha genre. Many applaud the game's aesthetic, animation, and music. The world.
This review was bad. This review has a fucking better light visual than stioorg, man.
Many cite its gameplay, or in many cases, lack of gameplay, as a common source of frustration with the game. With its heavy emphasis on combat and action-oriented gameplay across its marketing, many were thrown off by just how much of the actual game was anything but that. With a release date in July, less than 2 months after the launch of Wuthering Waves, many have compared their gameplay experiences across the two games and have driven the idea that Wuthering Waves is simply a better game than Zenless Zone Zero. Today we'll be discussing these comparisons from the ground up and seeing if there's any merit at all to the arguments being made, focusing on 3 main buckets: combat, progression, and the new player experience. As a disclaimer, my viewpoint on ZZZ is based off 12 hours of gameplay, so that's why we won't be diving into areas like the endgame or potential resource scarcity. Starting off the two games' comparisons with combat is the logical thing to do. It's what makes up a huge portion of their marketing materials and a driving force in why people download both games. There's a huge emphasis in both games on spreading gameplay across every character on the team. Both games opt for a fast-paced playstyle, driven by dodges, parries, and bonuses when characters are swapped onto at the right time. It's a formula that relies on a lot of inputs from the player and recognition of enemy attack patterns to pull off properly. But when you do it properly, wow, there are some fantastic moments.
Wow.
Diving a bit deeper, there are some major similarities and differences in
Wow,
how the two
wow,
games
wow,
implement
wow,
these
wow.
mechanics. When it comes to similarities, both games have a perfect dodge system that, when activated properly, allows the player to counterattack with a highly damaging move. Both games also have a baseline skill for every character that can be cast at will. I can comfortably say that both games have a unique take on driving varied movesets and attacks, and it's hard to say if one design on these implementations is better than the other. However, Zenless Zone Zero falls incredibly short when it comes to their implementations of ultimates. Every character across both games has an ultimate ability that uses a resource generated across combat to activate. Zenless Zone Zero shares one resource across all characters, while Wuthering Waves has a separate bar for each character.
Yeah, I think, okay, we talked about this problem before, I think the other day, is like basically, would you prefer if that your entire team shared one ultimate bar? So this ultimate bar charges like super quickly, but only one unit can use the ultimate, so you have to choose. Or just you charge at 1/3 the speed, but all 3 units can stack on ultimate.
Ultimate animations are some of the most satisfying in both games. They are a cornerstone of a character's design and typically have some of the best animation and special effects when compared to the rest of their kit. Zenless Zone Zero has some of the best animations and special effects that the genre has seen. Why does the gameplay not actively promote it? Why is the combat designed in a way that prevents you from seeing the other 2 ultimates on your team? This design might be the reason that some ultimates, like Billy's, are literally just their switch-in skill, but at a different camera angle. I don't think you're ever actually meant to use his ultimate.
Yeah, this is just nuclear misinformation. Billy is the main DPS, and his core ability is literally increased ultimate damage by 100%. So it's a nuclear misinformation, but yeah, you definitely use Billy's ultimate. But I can see why the animation is a little bit scarred.
Optimally in Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, requires you to use almost every character's ultimate. You get to see your favorite character's animations in most fights. If I'm only able to cast one ultimate out of the 3, I'm going to choose the one that does the most damage or has the best effect. Why is this limitation even in the game? The eventual conclusion most players will come to is that on your 3-person team, 2 of them do not have an ultimate ability. That simply does not make sense from a design perspective. Moving on to more differences between the game's combat,
more ultimate is always like, whoa, more
wildly varying implementations across both games. In ZZZ, switching characters happens very frequently and oftentimes at unpredictable moments. Every enemy in the game has a stagger bar that, when broken, amplifies damage on the enemy and brings up a massive QTE prompt to switch characters. With impact characters breaking bars at a faster rate than others, the general idea is to break meters with those characters and then swap onto another that deals more direct damage. These hot swaps activate a special ability.
I think this might be one of the first reviews that actually talk about how important days is, guys. It's like there's the first one of the first reviews that the guy kind of knows what he's talking about. Like, you gotta build days and trigger the QTE. Like, I swear, about actual in-game mechanics. Very nice, very good, very progressive, very based. It's like talking about super break.
This system works pretty well in creating defined roles for every character, but in many ways almost demands an impact character on every team if you actually want to make use of this mechanic.
You can still trigger QTs. It's not like the QT is gone.
Your character swaps in Wuwa have far more impact on your gameplay, as swapping onto...
Okay, I actually really don't agree. I would say swapping Wuwa has way less impact in the gameplay compared to Zenless Zone. Zenless Zone, you have to swap. Wuthering Waves, there have been like solo dungeon clear, solo Qian, solo what the fuck. Like, you can just don't do anything.
With how frequent swaps are in Zenless Zone Zero, and from what I've read about how team buffs work, It doesn't seem like swapping or the order you swap ever really matters.
Also wrong. The order of a swap, you kind of matters. Like, it will change your damage output for sure. You can notice that for the CM players, they always let their DPS be the last man to swap in, because the moment your DPS is the last man to swap in, you're going to trigger your Bangbu swap in, and then your DPS on the field to continuously doing damage. And guess what is the monster state being at when his weakness broken? Invite your DPS to do the most amount of damage. So like usually the order kind of matters, but not like it changes everything, because at the end of the day, the first 12 hours you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, and the enemy's just gonna die, right? But towards the end, it doesn't matter.
I think that this is where the idea of button mashing to win is from, and coming from Wuwa's combat, it feels off. Another feature of ZZZ's combat that
okay, I also want to say, coming from Wuwa's combat, this is, I feel like there's a little bit of a bias here, because like Wuwa's right now is pretty developed. It has been out for like more than a month. The combat against bosses is not like blindly just one shot. I think people kind of forget how brain dead it was for Wuwa's first 1 week when you fight mobs. Is that you legit just like kind of just kill everything.
feels a little off is parrying. You can parry by switching characters. A character that parries the first part of an attack will proceed to parry every single attack in that chain. You cannot parry with your on-field character. While the animation and sound effects are pretty satisfying, there's a fundamental problem with how this system works. If I'm on my highest damaging character and dealing damage to an enemy, why would I want to switch to a different character who has less damage or stagger stats to play optimally? You can argue that
you can just switch to parry, then switch it back like instantly, like just like that. But yeah, it's
the game's daze system
maybe just to make
vulnerability
the
windows from an
parry
enemy
window a
stagger
little bit
bar
easier.
promotes switching, but the game already does that for you by putting this massive QTE prompt in front of your face every time an enemy's meter is broken. Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, puts all of that decision making and character switching in the hands of the player. You decide who swaps in and when, as opposed to those automatic prompts from ZZZ.
Okay, that's a very, very weird take, because like automatic prompts, that prompt happens only upon breaking. So you can technically time your breaks. Like if you don't want to break, if you don't want to get the prompt, just don't break it so fast. Even though I would fail to understand why you wouldn't want it. But this feels a little bit weird. It's like almost as if saying that players every 5 seconds you need to go into a swap.
Combat, in my opinion, simply feels more fluid and intentional in Wuthering Waves from how its systems are designed, while ZZZ feels like the game is holding your hand for every single input and in a lot of ways makes decisions for you. Nevertheless, ZZZ's combat is easily one of the best features of the game.
It's a pretty subjective take, but we can. I feel like I personally think Wuthering Waves combat is more in-depth than Zenless Zone Zero combat. I kind of agree with this take, but yeah.
Definitely, the road to actually experiencing this combat involves the worst features in the game. This leads us into progression. In ZZZ, completing the story, quests, and raising your Internaut level, or basically your adventure rank, is a polarizing experience. While combat is featured in most story missions, actually getting there requires you to navigate the TV system. And my oh my, this system is one of the least appealing things we've seen in a video game. The devs claim that they reduced their frequency by 50%, and they are still far too frequent, and actively disengage the player from actually completing the story and those exploration stages. Comparing the first 12 hours of both games, there is almost no doubt in my mind that Wuthering Waves' progression and leveling is by far a more engaging experience.
My man is a cool robot! Okay, I'm just kidding, guys. Subjective take. I have no comments.
Having reviewed how players progress through each game, it's time for us to talk about the new player experience, and in particular, the gacha and its rewards. ZZZ has some of the most pitiful pull scarcity I have ever seen. At an Internaut level of 21, I've been able to pull on the first limited banner less than 50 times. I have one 5-star character after 12 hours of gameplay, and only from the beginner banner and its 50 pull pity.
So he couldn't pull better. And now he's womping.
Gacha games are driven by the characters. Characters are a huge reason for why you play the game. The inability to access more characters and experience the best parts of combat unless you buckle down and sit through dozens of hours of TV-based gameplay is one of the largest barriers to entry I have ever seen in the genre. While the devs have given out a free 10 pull for its 50 million download reward, pulls and in turn characters feel like they're drip-fed through the smallest tube they could find. There is a 5-star standard selector, but only at 300 total standard pulls. You will not be getting that unless you play this game for a very long time or spend a lot of money. Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, took their new player experience.
Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, is when devs listened to MrPokke and gave us 500 pulls because of my nuclear meme. You're welcome, by the way. Hey, I'm free to play in Zenless Zone Zero also.
The new player experience was simply amazing. While in Zenless Zone Zero, you genuinely feel like your currency and your chances of actually obtaining characters without spending is on life support.
Okay, I want to have a counterpoint. This is pretty subjective from my opinion. I feel that Zenless Zone Zero's agents, like the creators, they all feel like they're not too bad to use. You know, like there's no Ling Yang in the S rank agents in my opinion. Like I just don't think there's a Ling Yang. Like they're all pretty good to use, comparatively speaking. Even the A rank they're all like pretty good. I don't think there's like a completely dog shit A rank.
Let's not forget the fact that the Wuthering Waves weapon banner is also 100% guaranteed, while ZZZ
that's good.
is still a 75.
Exception, not the norm, by the way. Exception, not the norm. This is because Wuthering Waves devs listened. They listened hard.
25. You've also got 10 less pity, 80 instead of 90, across all of its banners. Overall, ZZZ and Wuwa are games that have a fair number of similarities, especially in their combat, but wild differences across many other factors. When it comes to the first 12 hours, I can comfortably say that ZZZ was not a great experience for me. While the combat does have its glowing moments, there's far too much immersion-breaking filler content that diminishes the entire gameplay loop as a whole. When poles and intern characters are locked behind bashing your head against frustrating content, the rewards and payoff are just not worth it for many players. Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, uses the most engaging part of its game, combat, across almost all of its progression. When characters are a huge part of experiencing this combat, the game's extremely generous launch rewards gives the players the tools that they need to stay engaged, while ZZZ holds this carrot in front of you as you walk on the glass that is the TV system. Hopefully, this breakdown was helpful in highlighting why the reception to Zenless Zone Zero,
Hopefully this breakdown was helpful as to why I'm a Kuro. Oh, I'm just kidding.
especially post Wuthering Waves' release, hasn't been the best. I personally believe the game needs a huge revamp to its entire philosophy when it comes to the new player experience and combat design, with pull scarcity, questionable gameplay, and hand-holding across the game's mechanics, making the game feel more like a chore than a game. When you play these free-to-play games, you're still spending your time, and you want it to be enjoyable.
Very, 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 very good video. I would say this is a pretty top tier beat. Because I think this is the first one that actually directly made the comparison between Zaza and Wawa. So it is a pretty nuclear vid. It's either top of B or the bottom of A, in my opinion. It is quite peak. It riled up the crowd. It riled up the...
First off, it's unfair comparing open world to instanced worlds. Secondly, if y'all in chat don't keep your arguments respectful, you will get nuked.
Okay, the fact that my mod had to use 100 bits to say that, it means that he's the A tier. Alright. My mod had to step in and say that because the amount of war going on in my chat, holy war in my chat. Because, hey, this is a solid A. This is a solid A review, my man. Excellent, excellent, excellent review. Very, very nice. Gal XD. This is the infamous video that triggered Tectone and everyone and their moms. Infamous video. This might be an S tier, guys. This might be an S tier review. This might be an S tier review.
I saw there is a lot of people that are not happy with Zenless Zone Zero. I know this is not endgame. I know there is probably a lot more to the game, and there's a lot of other things that I can be doing. I can be getting stronger and fighting more difficult bosses. But I think this quote is very important, and it was said by someone on my stream. You should not be playing for 5-6 hours to find the fun. The fun should be right there as soon as you start the game or a little bit into it. But 5 hours in, and you're still saying, I'm trying to find what makes this game good, it's already a red flag. So
imagine they give us the first story as Zhu story, who just bends over backwards and shoves her ass in your face. Oh my god. Everybody will love this game right now.
I gotta say, the game looks good. The game graphically is pretty well done. The characters look well done. The cutscenes, the characters are well animated. But all in all, it just feels rushed and rather boring, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to get off stream because I was falling asleep. I did play for 6 hours, but I just found it kind of boring. Zenless Zone Zero was advertised as a combat-heavy game, and, well, the combat also falls short.
Okay, MrPokke, all the way from the future, right? I actually just got my ass kicked by Shield Defense 9. This message is brought to you by MrPokke from the future. Insane.
A game like Genshin has way deeper combat than this game. Imagine that. Way deeper combat. When it comes to this game, the combat mechanics feel rather plain. They don't feel like deep, and they're not polished. When you land a parry, a dodge, or anything like that, or a stun, it just doesn't feel like you're actually hitting something, if that makes any sense. It feels like you're just throwing something out there. When it comes to the character's ultimate abilities, they don't feel ultimate at all. They feel like just a shiny little skill that is rather quick. I come from trying games like, Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and when it comes to our ultimate animations, they look really good and very flashy, so I was expecting
Yeah, so is this the Kuro ball or is it the Hoyo show? Because I have no fucking idea. He likes both Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. I have no idea. My man here is a Hoyo show. I have no idea what do I classify this, man.
I'm only, you know, about level 15 or 16, something along those lines. And maybe as I get deeper and deeper into the game, the combat is going to be a lot more interesting and all that good stuff. But so far, it just wasn't hitting. Things that it tells you to do, all the places that you got to click, seem a little cluttered. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I don't like all these things that tell me click here, look at this, and then when you go to the menu, it just feels like there's a lot of shit going on in the menus. On top of that, you have a menu within the menu. I feel that they could have organized this a lot better and a lot nicer, so it's not so cluttered and so confusing for a lot of people. Now, this might be just, it's a brand new game. I'm not used to the menus just yet. I just got to get used to the menus, but in all honesty, it does feel a little cluttered when it comes to the menus. Now, on top of that, the characters. And this might just be my personal opinion, and I know this is going to get me a lot of hate. I'm about to get into hot waters, but why is there so many children? And I'm not talking about one, right? I'm not talking about two. I'm not talking about three. Matter of fact, I'm not talking about four. You know what? I'm not even talking about 5.
Oh my god.
Or 6. There is just a whole lot of children in this game.
I mean, then again, it is 6.
If they don't have children, guess what they have? Whole furries. Now,
leave Big Ben alone. Hey, leave Big Ben, right? Hey, he ain't done nothing wrong.
There is nothing wrong with the furry community. You guys can go ahead and like your furries. I have no problem with that. But the fact that we got all these cheering is kind of weird. We don't got a lot of whole grown male or female characters. Yes, there are some out there that look quite good, but I'm just saying, there's a whole lot of children in this game, and that's a little weird. We were playing with a lot of people, and all of us really said, should you have to play a game for 5 to 6 hours to really say, oh, here is the fun part? I mean, if I do give it another try, if I play again tomorrow, I will continue to search for what makes this game good. I'm not saying it's all bad. Once again, it does have qualities that make the game good. I think the characters are well designed. I do think that they did a very good job with the voices and expressions of the characters in the cutscenes and all of that. But outside of that, I don't really know what the target audience is for the game. If it's a combat, oriented game, I feel that the combat is very lackluster.
The target audience is to steal away all of the players corrupted by the Kuro bots. Is to bring the players back to the great nation.
If it's a story-based game, I feel that people that play games like Genshin Impact or Honkai would rather stay with those games. So, once again, I feel that the game was rushed. It kind of missed the mark, and I don't know where it's going. Me, personally, I don't see me covering this game. I am going to give it a try because I want to see what it offers. Maybe
because it makes a hell of a lot of money, my man. I'm going to keep it a buck, man.
Be deeper into the game after level 20, 25, 30, and maybe I'll...
imagine covering Wuthering Waves right now or covering Honkai Star right now. Holy shit, it is what it is. Let's keep it a buck 99, right?
Change my mind, but for now, those are my thoughts after having played about 6 hours. You guys saw my roster. I'm pushing to level 20 after I finish this video, and that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, let me know in the comment section below.
I'll be complete fair. Level 20 is honestly, this changes nothing. Holy shit, look at the NPC. Yeah, honestly, level 20, it changes nothing. This is actually the first review that we have a collab review, as well as with Fob, Master, and Genazet, and Gacha Smack. Good, very, very coordinated,
if this is
inclusive review.
The worst performing game of Hoyoverse by a mile.
It's Honkai and Battery.
I wouldn't be surprised if this underperforms Wuthering Waves by a mile.
Actually, Jover.
I guess that's a what W though. I guess that's a
W. Oh my god, your mods. Hey, get this Kuro bot out of here. Hey, get this Kuro bot. My man's a fucking liar. Yo, for that, I'm about to book it right now. I alone shall be peak. Yo, guys, man, you're a fucking liar. I watched the review. The review was so good. Very objective. My man was just a Kuro bot this entire time. All right, done.
W for Wuthering Waves. Dead ass. Honestly, I'm okay with it.
Oh my god, the Kuro bots. The Kuro bot energy is strong. This one, repel the chat. Raise up your hands. Repel the Kuro bots with me. Repel the. I'm kidding. Okay, but for real, I think this review is great.
This review is really, really good. We have collabs, we have hot takes, we have a couple of features, you know, like the abobas. You should go to a couple of abobas, you know. Really, really juicy moments. And I think for the most part, he did manage to say that, you know, he only played for 6 hours and he's going to try. I think it's a solid A tier. It is a solid, I would say it is up there with Gacha Smack. Gacha Smack used to be peak, but hey, my man has been identified as a Kuro bot by Skull right here. So I'm gonna drop this off. This is a solid A tier review. Really like it. The more dislikes there are, it often tells you how good the review is. And this is one of the best ones. Alright. Stix. Oh, Zenless Zone Zero genuinely exceeded my expectations. Take a look.
Some of you don't want to hear positive things about Zenless Zero. You want me to get on cam and start trashing the game for whatever reason. You don't like the combat, you don't like the TV system, you don't like the character models, you don't like the world. There are any number of reasons why people dislike this game right now. They are all entirely warranted. I'm not here to convince you that the game is good.
I want to say not all are warranted. Some are really, really L-ticks. For example, there are people saying that, you know, Zhu Yuan is mid, they can go fuck themselves. Anyways, yeah.
I'm not here to convince you that the game is bad. I'm here to discuss my experience over the course of the last several days. I've been streaming it every single...
Okay, you guys that said no one said that, I guarantee you, people said that. I guarantee you when Zhu Yuan first came out, people said that. Specifically, Tectone's chat. You know why? Because I was lurking. And there was so many people in Tectone's chat. Oh my god, Zhu Yuan is so mid. Hey, I'm calling you out. A lot of your chat said Zhu Yuan was mid. I'm holding you accountable. It is what it is.
Day for several hours each day.
Not Tectone. Did Tectone himself say that? No, I don't think Tectone said that. But I know his chat said it. His chat said it. And the fact that Tectone did go, hey, leave my wife alone. Hey, that's a rage right there.
I played the game for almost 20 hours total. I've engaged in a significant portion of what, at the very least, the first 20 hours of the game has to offer and provides us as players. And while ultimately this is not going to be the final official review from me, as I do plan on finishing the game before I give my full entire impressions on it. I'm
gonna keep it a buck. I think 90% of the Western content creators, they're not even gonna finish the game. Like, quote unquote, finish the game. I'm pretty sure 90% will just chill at like level 7, level 8. I'm like, oh fuck, hey, this game is done. You know, it's too boring, it's too slow. I'll move on to one race. I'll move back down to very, very little will stay with the race.
I do believe that it would be a little bit disingenuous of me to just sit here and trash the game after only having played it for an hour or a couple of hours. I do want to go over the things that I did enjoy about the game and the things I didn't enjoy about the game. Zenless Zone Zero 100% exceeded my expectations. The reason it exceeded my expectations...
Wait, this guy is glazing. Oh my god, he's a Hoyo shell. Exceeding... Yo, that's a... Mod's getting... this is a Hoyo shell right there.
Isn't probably what you're thinking. The reason it exceeded my expectations is because I had my expectations set incredibly low.
I thought he was going to say because I had zero expectations. But
looked at the reception of the game. I looked at the style of the game. I looked at the viewership for the game, the overall hype for the game. There were no signals that this was going to be a big or well-received game, that this was going to be a popular game, but that this was even really going to be a fun game that appealed to me personally. But after having played quite an egregious amount of the game over the last few days, I can say that the low expectations that I had were significantly met and overcome. The tutorial is irritating, it is drawn out, and the tutorial alone forced a significant number of players to quit.
Okay, people quit at a fucking tutorial. This, you know what? It's called filtering. What filtering? Filtering!
It feels almost like they're holding your hand for hours and you're unable to do anything at all. You can't really engage in combat. I think you do like a couple minutes combat in the first several hours of the game. It's just talking, navigating the TV system, walking around, more talking. It is obnoxious and it is bad.
I want to say one thing, and this applies to not just Stix, right, but to every single reviewee so far. Saying how many hours you spend on the game, it means fuck all. It legitimately means fuck all, because I don't know what, like, you could be just digging around, especially like 6 hours of a content creator time versus 6 hours as an actual real life consumer is very different. Because consumers, if they're fucking bored of the game, they'll just skip everything and they'll actually want to get to the combat as possible. But content creators, they want to store, you know, stream, store, watch a story, look at tits and all that kind of stuff. So like, objectively, I feel like if you're a reviewee, saying the number of hours you play, I think that's one metric that you could make. But you also should state like, what level are you at? What's the progression? You know, like I could be staring at Gray's tits for 10 hours and I wouldn't know, right? Look at box 2.
As I made progress through Zenless, I found the game continued to get better. There is still a significant focus on the TVs. After over 20 hours of playing, the game consists of this. You talk to the NPCs. You then move around the town for a minute. You then talk to the NPCs. You then move around the town for a minute. You talk to the NPCs. After numerous cutscenes, you run to your computer. You do the little TV thing. You do 2, 3, 4 battles. These battles last 30 seconds, a minute and a half. They consist of you holding your left mouse button because you don't really need to do any more than that, honestly.
Yo, Wuthering Waves would never do this, guys. Imagine playing Wuthering Waves is a superior game. You would never do this in Wuthering Waves. Hey, wait, am I a crow bot? Hey, yo, mods, get him out.
Now, I know there is more complexity to the game. I do. Mechanically, the game's combat is much deeper than that. Much deeper than what is shown on the surface. Like, I got the Neko girl, Nekomata. I wanted to play as her. But I'm repeatedly forced to swap to the other 2 characters I have to make use of that swap mechanic. As an additive to this, you
can let it expire, by the way. You can just let it expire. There's like a countdown, just let it expire. You're good.
Combat itself doesn't even really require the swapping. Why? Because the basic enemies just stand around.
Wait. Stop. Hold that thought. You can swap back? Wait, there's no cooldown in Zenless. You could swap back to the unit in like 0.05. Wait, what? Wait, you could swap. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy.
The bosses just stand around like training dummies. They don't really even attack you. There are no real challenging mechanics present that require you to really actively pay attention to what's going on, at least from what I have played. This entire thing is based solely off of what I've played and may change at hour 30, hour 40, hour 50. A lot of people, unfortunately, are realizing that the story is probably too light for them and they just don't really feel involved necessarily. That's also
I just really like, okay, like for legit from like Bella Box story onwards, I'm starting to dig into the Zenless story. First chapter, I'm alright, you know, Nicole finding all that stuff. But like from Bella Box, especially Chu Yuan's story, for no particular reason, right? But for like Chu Yuan's story, well, it really got me involved. It really got me involved. I'm looking forward to see the chapter 3 of Victoria Housekeeping. This is gonna be great. Yeah.
Issue that people are having with the new Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail expansion. After having played Shadowbringers and Endwalker, having them be so dark and thrilling and complicated. Add on to this that the story is a major focus of the game. It essentially limits how much you're actually capable of playing. The game is comprised of 10% actual combat, 30% the TV system, 20% walking around, and 50% story.
Okay, which gacha game is not like this at the start though? Like, I'm pretty sure every single gacha game at the start is like, especially like Hoyo games, it's all just story. The
cutscenes and everything essentially amount to half of the entire game. So if you don't enjoy the story, like a lot of people don't, a lot of people are skipping the story, then the game is going to suck for you. Half the story.
False. Okay, this is objectively false because I'm the exact demographic he's talking about right now. I skipped through the entirety of chapter 1 because I ain't gonna read all that. And I still find myself slowly increasing Zenless Zone Zero points. If a story is boring, I think you're good to skip it. Is it gonna be boring forever? That's up to you to decide. So yeah.
Story is unvoiced.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm free to pay, by the way. Yeah, I'm free to pay. Yo, so get into it. Tell me.
It's a little bit jarring. It detracted from my enjoyment anyway because, I don't know, I didn't really feel that enthralled by it. There'd be parts where the characters would be voiced and then you'd kind of just move to a normal cutscene that had no voice acting. And the voice acting is really good, so it's kind of sad to see that, unlike in Genshin and Wuwa and Honkai, where the characters and the story and everything is all pretty much voice acted, I don't know, it was this weird disconnect for me where it wasn't, and I really like it. I like
Wait,
it.
I thought most of the story in this game is voice acted. Like all of the 2 people, they are voice acted. The comic panels, they are voice acted. The cutscenes, they are voice acted. I think the only part where it's not voice acted is when you're running around the town.
I think both Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves are setting a new standard, a quality standard for gacha games where characters are showing more expression than at any point in the past. Stationary, sedentary models seem dated, look dated, feel dated. They add so much depth in terms of character to the story. Absolutely. When you see them moving, when you see them acting, absolutely, it is an entire experience.
when you see the two giant physics,
experience in and of itself. The world is not open, which means that there is a very finite amount of space and you're going to pretty much see the same areas repeatedly over the course of the game. I don't think that this is necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of people have been hating on the game because it's not open world and you
I'm so fucking sick and tired of I swear, like, I feel like Wuthering Waves will probably be like my last open world gacha game. It's actually crazy. Like, I cannot imagine playing a game, especially if I didn't have my eames. It's so time consuming, man. Oh my god, I need a break. I need a baby game.
But you know what? If you want an open world game, you have two great choices right now. Wuwa and Genshin.
Oh my god, Wuwa and Genshin. My man has transcended humanity. My man has transcended Kurobots and Hoyo shields. He has now the ultimate species.
People should not go into this game expecting something else, yet they still are, and they're disliking the game because it's not the kind of game that they thought it was going to be. This game is instanced, story-driven, and love it or hate it, forces you into the TV system, which I am honestly not that bothered by. I actually don't mind the TV system at all. I feel like it's kind of relaxing. You only spend probably a couple minutes total in there.
Exactly. Oh my god, I think this was one of the first content creators so far, one of the first reviews ever that didn't want to fucking kill themselves in game over TV. That's crazy, guys. Like every other review, oh my god, this TV has been the most horrendous, atrocious invention that has been known to gacha history. It is so fucking. I spit on the. This is the first time someone just said TV is not that bad.
Is it bad? No, not at all. It has incredible character models. The characters are incredibly expressive. The world is beautiful. The voice acting is fantastic. The action combat is a lot of fun. But at the same time, you're forced into the TV system, which can get very boring very quickly. There's nothing to explore. No cool, unique things to find.
I feel like my man is just saying like a good point and a bad point, both of them. Like he's actually being a neutral review. It's like he will say, oh my god, this sucks. Okay, but actually it's really, really good.
Story is kind of bland and somewhat boring, makes you want to skip it. The characters are also a little bit bland, and there is a major focus on lollies, which I don't like. I like my big bodacious women. The game is very easy. There is a difficulty option, but even with that toggled on, the game is still incredibly easy. There is a very limited amount of actual stuff to do in-game. And did I mention the UI? Oh my god, traversing the UI is a nightmare. Otherwise, this is a very fun game. At the end of the day, this is a fun game. Is it a great game? No. Is it a bad?
It's not a great game. Hey, my man's a Kurobot. Hey, get him out.
Bad game? No. Although
hey, it's not a bad game. He's a whole chain, guys. Get him out.
Really, that is not an objective point. That is a subjective opinion of mine. I don't think it's incredible. I don't think it's horrible. I think this is a pretty good game. This is a game that you play on the side. This is not a game that you main as your main game. Well, it's not a game that I would main as my main game. It's definitely a game that I would play on the side, and I'm going to keep playing until I finish it. I don't know if I'll keep playing after that. I guess we're going to have to wait and see if it improves or gets worse. If the focus on the TVs is improved or gets worse. The difficulty gets, well, more difficult, or it remains as easy as it currently is.
Okay, I think overall, this review is borderline B. It's borderline B in my opinion. There was not a lot of very nuclear takes. My man didn't give us a lot of nuclear takes. My man didn't give us a lot of a insight into the overall. Right, it's a little bit of a shallow review because it is at a first couple of days. I would say that I would probably rank it around the same tier as Asmongold. Asmongold, yeah. I'll probably rank it around Asmongold here. Better than Box 2. Oh my god, Box 2 is atrocious. Holy shit. Anyways, Tectone! The myth, the man, the legend himself. Temporarily unavailable. What the fuck is this? There's no... Oh, okay, actually it's pretty good.
Single person to watch this entire video before they leave a comment saying some dumb... Because I feel like people are very confused on what my opinion is. So I'm giving you guys a 24-hour review of Zenless Zone Zero, and I'm going to continue updating this, perhaps in the next 72 hours or perhaps 1 week. But I don't plan on giving up on Zenless Zone Zero right now because I want to, if I don't like the game, I want to have an entirely complete opinion and not just go off of what public opinion is saying or early gamer instincts. I'm going to beat all the content in this game like I did for Wuthering Waves, and I am attempting to...
That couldn't even be 10%.
The community aspect for Zenless Zone Zero has been nothing short of the biggest bitch wine fest I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, that's a very, very, very good point that's brought up by my man Tectone over here. I don't think any of the previous reviews mentioned anything about the community specifically. I feel like every single one of the review here, myself included, I don't think anyone actually, well, I take it back. I did talk about the community. Yeah, you can see over here, guys, MrPokke, he is a very, well, this is a truly a peak review, if I can say so myself, right? He does, in fact, talk about the Gacha community, and I don't think a lot of people have actually been talking about it. So, hey, that is a good-ass review. That's a good-ass review right there.
So much so where if people are actually enjoying the game, people are getting angry at them just for enjoying it this early on. I can understand when people are upset about someone else enjoying the game. Once you're like 3, 4, 5 years in, you realize the devs don't give a fuck about what you're doing or saying whatsoever. But right now, we haven't really been proved that the devs aren't listening right now. They have made some changes to TV as they said prior. I feel like it's fine to give the game a full try. We don't know the lengths of the endgame content. The game has been out for less than 24 hours. And I feel like getting this angry this early is a little bit childish, a little bit dumb, and a little bit short-sighted. Let's wait to shit on it until there is absolutely no wiggle room whatsoever. Let's beat everything in the game, or at least allow me to beat everything in the game. Then I'll let you know exactly that this is not an opinion, this is a fact. This game.
So basically 4 months.
Game sucks or doesn't. Okay, let's get into something a little bit more serious. The Hoyoverse view-botting streamers. So in case you guys don't know, content creators like Doro, Anthony Chen, Ziox are all getting front page access. I'm assuming by Hoyoverse's means, but I can't confirm or deny anything. But yeah, there was a lot of people being very upset because there was a lot of people who were having disingenuous viewer numbers on their front page. In case you guys don't know, there's a browser source that a lot of people in my chat use where it actually shows how many authentic viewers there are on people's chats, and a lot of preferred Hoyo creators. Also, once again, nothing they can do about this. Nothing they can do about this.
Yo, that's some nuclear fucking drama right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's some serious allegations, my ladies and gentlemen. That's a 1.3% of you guys right here, you guys are bots. Where's the 1.3% of the bots? Why am I only one below 100? Oh my god, I'm actually getting bored, guys. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Alright, so Zenless Zone Zero. I'll just say that this game, it is one of the most controversial games. Wait, why the fuck am I watching my own review? Holy shit, I'm actually going crazy.
Hoyoverse essentially trying to control the advertising market and not making it a free market and promoting people who they deem good boys and not helping anybody else who they deem to be bad boys. I think it's a bit disingenuous. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. I think it's very cringe, but I think a lot of people have a lot of misplaced aggression and rather have hatred towards those content creators or frustration with those content creators. Maybe direct that at the company themselves or whoever's in charge of actually doing that. Target demographic, furries, and Zoomers. I feel like a lot of people who are old
and lolicons
aren't really gonna enjoy this game too much because this is for much more of a Zoomer ADD audience and for furries. But it is what it is. I feel like the community will be a fucking disaster from here into perpetuity because that's who we are targeting as our audience, but it is what it is. I try to adapt with the times. I don't want to be some old bitter guy, so I'm attempting to adapt and be hip with it, and maybe, you know, maybe I'll jerk off to Vaporeon today just to feel a little bit more included in the community that they're aiming towards. Sponsors, I feel like they're doing a great job. They're sponsoring content creators like Dog, Iron Mouse, Maximilian Dude, and other people who seem to enjoy gacha games, just like other random OTV members. Very cool. I feel like they're doing a great job with their money, and I feel like they most likely already have a lot of financial incentivization for more content creators who want to play their game. So I do think this game will have a healthy lifespan on Twitch. How long? I'm not sure.
That's 1 month, guys. 1 month later, Zenless Zone Zero is dead. Everybody's gonna move on. Hey, 1 month later, we're all going back to Wuthering waves, guys. Oh wait, am I a cruel bot? Oh shit, hey, mods, get him up.
Overworld. I feel like the overworld is actually pretty nice. I like this area quite a bit. There was a nice cutscene after part 1 that kind of makes the world feel a little bit more alive. I feel like this game is completely carried by the Bang Boos, and I really like it. I think the Bang Boos are adorable. I feel like the small little overworld is very nice. I hope it expands in the future. I hope that there are more areas that we get to go to that makes this area feel more unique and more special. It isn't anything crazy, but you know, it's nice. Characters in the game. Currently, my favorite character in the game by far, it's not even close as Grace. I think she's incredibly fuckable, super fucking hot, massive fucking jugs, and she shows her tummy, which I think is hot as fuck. Her playstyle is the funnest by far. It's not even close. She gives you a lot of freedom for combos and shit, and yeah, she can do a lot of things.
I think we mentioned this before. I still got Tectone has no idea what she does. It's like, yeah, she can do a combo and she can do a lot of shit, yeah. But I have no fucking idea what she does.
Poleta and Grace is my 2 5-stars, which I'm pretty happy about. No, I didn't lose the 50-50 on Ellen. I just got an early 5-star. My first 10 pull was a 5-star.
Okay, nobody asked, all right? Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Nobody asked.
These are all the characters that I have. There is a...
Hey, chat, remember that Tectone is not a free-to-play, guys. Tectone is not a free-to-play. He is not a free-to-play, not like your streamer right here, your YouTuber right here, or MrPokke, who is truly a Twitch.tv voice and a complete free-to-play in Zenless Zone Zero. Absolutely.
Abundance of child characters, which I think is very lame. However, I'm saying that because I'm a 30-year-old adult. However, I think it's fine to have kid characters in the game because kids play this games, guys, and let's not forget about that. I just think it gets really weird when the kids start getting sexualized, and that's the part that I don't fuck with. But I don't think having characters that are kids is inherently bad. Considering that, you know, some people who are kids, which is pretty much the target demographic of this game, are going to want characters that are like them, and I think that's fine. However, when you grow out of it, it does get a little bit weird. I don't know why there's a big bear guy, but maybe if you're gay like me, you'll want a character that
Yo, leave Big Ben alone, man. You leave Big Ben alone.
represents your big gay self. I'm like a big old bear. Anyways, yeah, the characters are good. Progression's pretty fucking slow when it comes to characters. I'm already feeling energy gated, but we'll see how it goes. There might be a great Doom area at level 30, but I'll find that out when I'm level 30. Let's keep going here. All right, combat. Elephant in the room, combat. This was advertised by a couple of dev interviews as a combat-focused game. No, it's not. It's simply not that. It's just simply not that. I've played in the first 24 hours, well over 13 hours, and it's pretty much 90% TV story and then 10% combat. I don't know why the fuck they decided to advertise it that way. I think there was a fucking blunder. We all knew it wasn't going to be a combat-focused gameplay. I don't know why the fuck they said that, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is once again another story-focused game, much like HoYoverse is known for doing.
I would say that you can't really advertise it as like, yo, introducing Honkai Starbucks, a story-focused game. Introducing Genshin Impact, a story-focused game. Introducing Zenless Zone Zero, a story-focused game. Like you kind of have, it's like a story plus something. Like to be completely fair, yeah, there's a lot of world building and a lot of story and a lot of yep. I would say it has more like combat elements compared to, you know, Honkai Starbucks, which is like turn-based, like story turn-based, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
The animations are incredible. I love them. People were saying...
Yeah, if you finish story, it's pretty much all combat. There's basically no other like yep once you finish the yep. The rest of the stuff is all combat in perpetuity, pretty much.
This game has worse animations than any other gacha.
Oh, sorry guys, it's a fighting game. I'm my bad. It's a fighting game, guys. It is basically Street Fighter 6. Yep, it's a fighting game. My bad. Yep.
They're simply just wrong. I think the animations and the voice lines for the characters are very good, especially Ellen's big ultimate. I like the impact frames of her teeth. It's very cool. But yeah, I feel like the animations are incredible. The fluidity of combat is amazing. The difficulty is non-existent. It is fucking non-existent currently. 24 hours in, I have not made it to the endgame mode. The difficulty is fucking non-existent. A lot of the difficulty is from making enemies have a lot more HP, when in reality, they should increase the frequency of attacks.
Still the same thing. By endgame, still the same thing.
I think the parry system in this game is one of my favorites ever. I actually prefer it over Wuthering Waves due to the sound design being so fucking orgasmic each time you hit it. It is fucking nuts. However, I do think that the parries in this game are much easier, whereas the parries in Wuthering Waves you really have to fucking earn. However, I am not opposed to having a game where I just turn my brain off and spam buttons, as long as I know that's what I'm getting myself in for. And I am trying to increase the difficulty of this game by playing completely free to play.
That aged like a glass of milk in a hot summer afternoon.
Pulling for the rates, it is the exact same as Honkai Star Rail. I feel like it's fine. It's
That's a fucking lie. I think we have established this, right? The engines is at 1% S rank, guys. 1% S rank. Oh my god, insane rates. This changes everything.
Typical Hoyo. I feel like they could have done better. I really wish there wasn't a chance to lose the weapon banner like Wuthering Waves, but it is what it is. Hoyo will be greedy.
Nah, I win.
Fuck them, is what it is. The amount of currency that we get, I feel like I've been spoiled by Wuwa, because Wuwa gave so many fucking resources, and you'll say, oh, well, they had to do that. Okay, well, the reality is that they still fucking did it. Okay, they still fucking did it, and that's the fucking truth.
My man, it's a Kurobot.
I feel like I have no fucking pulls in this game. It's ridiculous. But once again, maybe that'll speed up more. I'm only about 13 hours into the game so far.
Okay, wait, check. I legitimately think this is I don't know. I feel like me personally, as a complete free to play, I don't feel like there's a lack of pulls. Yeah, I've done 130 beginner pulls. Did this in 75 or 77. I think, or 79. And we got a couple of, I think we got this in like 70.
Okay, Bang Boos. These little dumb fucks. These are the best part of the game. I love them. I'm in love with these. I prefer the Bang Boos over Echoes. I'm a guy that always loves cute things, and these bang boos are fucking adorable. When I see
I know he's about to say, I'm gonna bang the bang boost. I mean, holy fucking gosh, she didn't even kind of fuck down, man.
them driving a forklift when they're very clearly not certified or operating a fucking machine gun, I think it's fucking hilarious. Like, they're fat, dumb rats. Okay? They're the Japanese people's takes or Chinese people's takes.
They are rabbits. They are literally rabbits. Why the fuck does he not see that?
These things are fucking adorable. I love how fucking stupid they are. Talk about the TVs. Have the TVs been fixed? The answer is, honestly, if they are, I have not fucking noticed. These TVs are fucking miserable. Now,
And
I
here
will
we
say,
go.
not entirely. I think the TVs are miserable in the story mode. However, for the endgame mode right now, I think they've implemented them in a pretty clever way to where I myself am currently enjoying the TVs for the endgame mode. However, that is the only time I'm enjoying the TVs. I think they can utilize them better for content that's a little bit more serious in order to unlock more diversity and complexity of play. But for right now, the way they use in the story is fucking abysmal. I don't like it. I don't want to fix a fucking train. I don't want to get chased by a big fucking TV. Take them fucking out, but keep them for the
I
roguelike
don't want
mode.
this.
It's fucking
I
fine.
don't want to eat my vegetables.
It's literally fucking
I
fine.
don't want to
Please,
eat my
God,
fruits.
Please, God.
I don't want to do. I just want to crack.
Please, God.
I just want to
lower
goon.
the amount of TVs in story and only use them to
I
help
don't want it.
fluidity and complexity of play in endgame modes. We don't need them anywhere else. The voice acting is impeccable.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
The voice acting is fucking impeccable.
Yep.
The cutscenes are fucking incredible.
Yep.
The Miyabi cutscene where she fights the giant demon was beautiful.
Bro, the giant
I am
demon is new
blown
cookie, by the way.
away at every single cutscene we get into this game. So much so that I'm willing to listen to the Yap Fest. We'll get into that later.
Insane.
I truly, truly feel that this is the most polished Hoyo game in terms of facial animations.
Oh my God.
And the way of telling their story and the way of showing their cutscenes. I feel like it's second to none.
Oh my God.
Very
My
close
man's
to
a
what
Hoyo
it plays.
shell.
1.1 knocked it out
Nah.
of the park with JuiceJay. That was incredible. But
Insane.
the things that we're seeing in these stories, the facial expressions that we're seeing, the emotions we're seeing from the characters, I fucking love. I genuinely fucking love how
stop.
beautiful everything is in this game.
The
And
Zenless
good
Zone Zero
lord,
dick can
the
only get
NPCs are
so
fuckable,
hard.
it's ridiculous. We have some of the baddest bitches in all of fucking gaming that are just random fucking NPCs. Like, they're just so fucking hot. Like,
Yo,
dude.
the way he keeps going, I feel like he's gonna get unblacklisted. He's about to get unblacklisted soon. If this keeps going on, you know, the holy shit.
Like, look at this bitch's ass. It's ridiculous. Look at her boobs. Look at these fucking two NPCs. Like,
Bro
good
needs to crank.
God, dude.
Bro needs to
Holy shit,
crank.
reminds me of Monster Hunter Rise. Like,
Bro, I swear, okay, like, to be completely neutral, to be completely objective, oh my God. I don't think I felt the way I felt for a Gacha character until Zhu Yuan came out. Bro, Zhu Yuan, she's built so right.
story from a narrative perspective for what they're telling is really fucking boring. Really fucking boring. It's very slice of lifey, which I don't fuck with.
I feel like the only story so far that Tectone can get into is like if there's porn. And oh my God, that's the best story in the world. Yeah, I just fucked everyone. I fucked Ben. Oh my God, it's great. Yeah.
But it is comforting.
Yeah, it's like 11 out of 10
very
story.
predictable, and the amount of over techno jargon that they use when talking is just like, holy fuck, shoot me. We don't fucking care. Stop using these dork we speak terms. Nobody gets what the fuck you're saying. Okay, they're hackers. We get it. Like, these dudes tell us that we're hackers more than EO tells us that he's played a fighting game. Nobody fucking cares. Yes, this game should very well be changed from ZZZ to YYY because holy yap, this shit is fucking nuts. However, I am seeing a glimmer for some of the quests because Miyabi's squad was very fun to listen to. I really enjoyed talking to them. I also enjoyed Nicole every single time she speaks. But man, when you're stuck with a bad character, it's like ripping the skin off your fucking face. But yeah, the UI UX. I saw a guy called Genocide say that this UI is bad. Genocide, you are a fucking idiot. The UI for this game is fucking great. Really good. These are all the options that you're going to use more frequently. There's more options.
Nuclear drama. Man bullies Genocide. Man bullies smaller
gonna use it
streamers.
once. You're not going to need to use any of these things too frequently, so it makes sense they're on a separate menu. The UI is my favorite UI in any gacha I've ever seen. If you don't like it, it's because you haven't gotten used to it yet. Give it a couple hours. I felt the exact same way with Persona 5 Royale, and that has multiple critical acclaim, multiple awards for how good it truly
Oh my
is.
god. Zenless Zone Zero UI has won 10 different awards, including the Grammys, the Oscars, the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh my fucking god.
I'll be real, guys. I think the UI for Wuthering Waves is fucking terrible. I feel like it would look like it was made by a 6th grader for a fucking computer lab assignment. It's awful. This UI is beautiful. The text is beautiful.
Yo, someone call me Hoyo. Yo, someone call me Hoyo. He's about to get whitelisted, guys. He's about to get whitelisted.
Do you guys have any other questions?
He's about to get whitelisted, guys. We're getting whitelisted with this one.
Answer everything.
We're getting whitelisted with this one.
The next two things I'm going to say are ranking it compared to the other gachas that I play and a final rating out of 10. Game size, sure, it should have been lower. It's about 51 gigs. I don't know where the fuck they're using all that, but it is what it is.
It's a TV. And I think 20 gigs went to Julian's giant ass. But yeah.
Maybe on animating people's boobs. Hope for the future, I'll get into that after. Character feet, okay, great. I've answered absolutely everything I need to answer. I'm gonna rank every single gacha and here's how it goes. Okay, my number one gacha right now. Okay, my number one is Wuthering Waves.
Oh, yikes. I don't think we're getting back to the contrary of this one.
I fucking love that game. It's very good. It's not the best in everything, but it's the most consistent in everything.
Bro, I got blacklisted and whitelisted 20 times in one video. Crazy.
For me, what I want, I fucking love that game. My second, and it's very close, is Honkai Star Rail. The turn-based RPG aspects are really growing boring for me. The needing of the new characters is a little bit tiresome, and the new game modes I'm not really a fan of. However, the story is so fucking good, I'll never quit that fucking game, right? So Wuthering Waves, then Honkai Star Rail. Third place for me,
Genshin Impact,
is Zenless Zone Zero. Okay? Now, it's not that close, but it is my third favorite gacha game right now. Okay? For what it is, I see a promising future, and I do think that this game can continue to get better, and I think that we'll be very satisfied with the updates that we get, because it should be much easier to give us more, considering that we don't have to make an overworld. I am enjoying Zenless Zone Zero very much for what it is.
The fact that he still ran Genshin Impact above every other gacha game, such as Cookie Run Kingdom, such as Nikkei, such as Azure Lane, such as Epic Stuff. Hey, that's a good sign, man. He really, really likes Genshin Impact.
I think that game is better than any of the other gacha games at anything. I think that game is mid-incarnate. And yeah, I'm hoping to God Natlin changes that, because right now I feel like Genshin is a fucking joke. And I think the only reason why people like it is due to COVID and time sunk and money sunk fallacy. I genuinely believe that. I feel like Genshin is fucking trash. My rating for Zenless Zone Zero right now, overall as a game, is a very solid 6.5 out of 10. I'm hoping that increases.
This is a very, very neutral take.
A 7 to a 7.5.
That's a very, very neutral take.
I give it about a 6.5. Yeah. What for me is really carrying this game is how beautiful it looks. I can't tell you how happy it makes me. I feel like it just looks so fucking beautiful. And it just makes me happy being in the game. I'll be real. It's incredibly aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, I give it about a 6.5. Honkai Star Rail right now gets about an 8. And Wuthering Waves for me gets about an 8.5 to a 9. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, anyways, okay, subjective. Okay, subjective.
I don't think it's going to do as well as any of the other games. I do think it'll be the worst performing of the 4 categories, but I really don't care, because if the game's fun, I'm going to play it. This game had about a 70% as successful.
It's the worst game of the big 4, guys. Oh my god. Zenless Zone Zero dead upon release.
Do I plan on quitting? No, absolutely not. I'm going to beat absolutely everything, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on how I feel about the game.
Oh yeah, like how you beat Sekiro. Yep. And now the big Baldy himself. Let's just keep it, but this is not an essay review. This is not going to be peak, right? This is not going to be peak, you know? There's just way too much focus on hits and fuck around A tier, but there's way too many A tier, so I think I need to dump it down a little bit. I really like Zenless Zone Zero versus Wuthering, because this was a very, very nuclear take, so I don't really want to drop this down a little bit. Okay, you know what? Eango are going to the top of B tier. Eango is going to the top of this. This was classic set. I really like this one. I think this can probably be here. I really like this actually. Okay, I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Zenless Zone Zero versus I'll probably do this. Yeah. This looks a little bit better. Who last reviews? I don't know how fucking long this video is. Rest in peace, editor.
Zenless Zone Zero.
Hearts in the chat for the editor. Click on this. Okay, 1:3 like to dislike ratio. You might want to skip Zenless Zone Zero for now. So Blood is basically just rage baiting. Beautiful.
It's mid. It's not bad per se, it's just mid. Now I feel like I'm qualified to say this because I'm level 32, just...
Is Blood a Singaporean? Is Blood a Singaporean? Malaysian? Oh my god, I could have recognized the accent anyway.
3 days after the game has launched. And I must say, for a game specifically advertised as a hack and slash combat game, you sure spend very little time actually beating stuff up. Now, before I start to dig into this game, I'm just gonna speedrun all the good parts of the game. The story was pretty mediocre at best, but since it has a skip button, I guess everyone is gonna be skipping it anyway, so I just don't want to talk so much about it. The combat, on the other hand, you see, based on how the game is designed, you don't really get to spam your skill and burst a lot of times, okay? And even that burst is actually shared between 3 characters, okay? So you rarely get to use your skill, you rarely get to use your burst. And considering the fact that everyone in this game is a goddamn sponge, okay, they take like 5 million hits to die, because I can guarantee you I've been fingering my mouse for the last 24 hours just by playing this game. Everything takes like 5 million left clicks to die. Imagine if you have...
Maybe try using parries and skills and ultimates so that we won't use 5 million left clicks. You know, maybe, just maybe.
Playing Genshin, but every hilicho you encounter has the health bar of a consecrated beast. I have a C1 soldier boy with a 5-star weapon during the early game, and even maxing everything out, everything's still here.
But it's a fighting game, of course you're going to be spending most of your time
of course it's a fighting game, guys. Of course it's a fighting game. Absolutely, it is a fighting game.
Yeah. You will be surprised to find out that even reaching...
Well, I feel like this is probably one of the first reviews that actually said the bosses, the mobs are too hard. Blood is basically saying the mobs have way too much health. Whereas like every other review so far has been, oh yeah, the mobs just die way too quickly. Interesting.
Level 32, I can assure you that only 30% of your time will be spent
okay,
fighting.
HP sponge.
The game soft locks you from continuing the story unless you level up.
Blood is same level as me.
And the only other way to level up is to do side quests around the world. This alone is going to take up more than 40% of your time just by walking around town during different parts of the day, doing the most random stuffs ever. And I'm not kidding when I say there's a shit ton of stuff for you to do in the open. But is it fun though? It really is actually.
Nah, I love the side quests, it's great.
Since most of the side quests are just the most dumbest shit ever, like help this girl take a picture of another man, and etc. etc. Well, I admit that some of these quests really make me feel that, oh, fuck. Now, I admit that some of these quests really help make the world feel more interesting and immersive, but completing the whole page of quests only gives you 160 pools. Imagine spending 1 hour walking around town like a maniac just to get one pool.
My god.
And don't
That's
forget,
crazy.
you're playing a Hoyoverse game.
Holy feet. Oh my god, I think this is the first review so far that actually showed the feet. That's actually crazy.
Meaning that you're gonna be grinding for Primo Gems, okay? Factoring in that they gave us 10 pools for the 50 million downloads, and then they gave us extra 10 pools from the event banner that I haven't claimed finished yet because it's just 3 days in. And I've been grinding until level 32. I am barely 100 plus pools into the event banner, okay?
Wait, what? Wait, so he lost a 50-50. Ah, I see.
100 plus pulls into the event banner, okay? Usually, I've been expecting like, I don't know, a guaranteed 5-star of the event banner by now, but at last I got Soldier Boy, so I can now have a C1 of this girl. I don't know what to do with her.
Blood got 2 SkullCJay 11s. I mean, like at the end of the day, you know. Yeah, I don't think you're. Yeah, it is what it is. Winners win, losers lose, right? Yeah, it is what it is.
And I have around 100 pulls into the standard banner.
Yeah, it's
the
pretty
one that
relatable.
they advertise outside the game, saying that you can get around 100 pulls. That is on the standard banner. Okay, that's not the event banner. Please don't be misled by them. Okay. Now I'm not saying that
it definitely also includes the event banner though. Like basically both. Half is probably from the. It's like
having 100 pulls is bad, but it's just the fact that it's on the standard banner is not really that appealing. Okay, I want Joe. I don't want standard character banner.
Okay, this one is not a review, guys. At this point, my man is salty that he lost a 50-50, and therefore this game is dog shit. Plus, he's running an E1 SkullCJay 11 without Ellen Joy. I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing no damage. It smells a little bit of a bias, if I can say so, but it might not be very neutral.
And it has a separate banner for the Paimon thingies, but the Paimon thingies are...
Why the fuck do you even pick... Oh my god. Okay, never mind.
Aren't really playable. You just select them and they help you beat stuff up with their Glock, so you don't really get to play them, and therefore it's not really a good argument that you have a much more free-to-play option for you to get a 5-star. No, you can't play them. They are just AI bots that help you shoot stuff.
Okay, legitimately, like I said, if my man here actually got Alan Joe, this review will be completely different. Like, I'm gonna keep it about.
The gacha system in this game, it absolutely sucks ass. This is because you can't even see the.
This is because I lost a 50-50, and I'm gonna bitch about it. Oh my god, fuck this gacha game. Hey, I'm done.
Characters or weapons you own in the open world. Getting 5-star weapons only makes your character glow during their attacks. They don't change the appearance of your weapon. What is the point of getting a 5-star weapon? Hello?
I just don't get it. You know, maybe try getting Ellen Joe first. Then. But anyways,
and you can only use your characters inside combat. Okay, meaning that if you got Joe, you can only see her inside the game. Okay, you can't use her outside to walk around and stuff. Hoyo has.
I agree with this. I agree that they should let us change to the character that we pull for. I agree with this.
The audacity to use the same PT system from Genshin into this game, despite being so not worth it to pull in this game than in Genshin. I don't know what they're smoking over there.
Oh my god, this guy is an... Oh my god, the amount of Genshin energy coming from this channel is crazy, man. The amount of Genshin energy, oh my god.
But I definitely need some, give me... Now, the math ain't mathing right. 30% on combat, 40% on miscellaneous stuff. Where's the remaining 30%? Now, the remaining time will be spent on playing the TV sections, and these haunt me at night, okay? Let me remind you that I am level 32 right now, and to the people that are saying, it's gonna be much less TV stuff the more you progress, you are deeply wrong. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite actually. Now, I'm not saying that the TV sections are boring, it's just that they are way too long. Why are you barring me from playing the fun parts of the game? Why are we spending more time on the TV segments than actually fighting people? Why do you make such detailed levels
oh my god,
just for nothing to happen inside them, aside being an arena for me to whack people? The game is advertised as a fighting game, so let me throw hands, oh yo please, I don't wanna be playing the TV section anymore. Why am I spending like 15 to 20 minutes on TV segments in the game? I don't understand. Hello. And one last thing before I go, I have had a very miserable experience with the user interface for the first few hours because they are designed to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but extremely painful to navigate around. I mean, it looks nice, it looks pretty, but I don't know what to press, okay? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, okay? But I really don't like how they design their buttons and stuff.
Yeah, Genshin Impact has the best UI design. I absolutely agree. Yeah, Genshin Impact does have the best UI design. Yep.
Makes me appreciate how easy it is to navigate around Genshin than in this game.
Yep, and there it is. Genshin Impact prevails once again. Genshin Impact truly is the greatest game of all time. Absolutely.
Oh, I hope that Hoyo will make some changes to the game because I kind of like it for now, but I just want them to make it more fun to play with, okay? And that's about it. See you.
This okay, chat. Let's just be real. This is a purely subjective take, right? This is a purely subjective take. I don't know why. I don't know. It just rubs me off the wrong way, and I can't explain it. There's just no explanation. There's just no explanation. It's like it felt more like a sad man, a weak man failing the 50-50. And we are now bitching about the game. This is barely even a review. And this thing over here is actually a review. This is basically my, oh my god, I lost the game. The life's over. It is actually over. One last review before we can finally wrap up. Xlice.
I've been playing the official launch of Zenless Zone Zero for over 25 hours now. And I'm gonna be honest, I played the game wrong. I know that sounds stupid.
Why 25 hours? Why don't I just say 24? Sounds cleaner.
Like, how can you play the game wrong? It's just a game. Play how you want to play. Well, let me explain. I've always enjoyed dissecting the builds of characters and figuring out what's optimal. And while I do focus on the major parts of the lore and storyline, it typically isn't my primary focus, and therefore has a lower impact on my enjoyment of the game. This also means that I may not be paying attention to the actual storyline.
Not paying attention to the story? My man is a cruel robot. Hey, Mo, get him out.
Or just will skip it altogether sometimes. So that's kind of what I expected going into ZZZ. If you guys are unfamiliar, Zenless Zone Zero is the newest installment of instanced RPGs developed by Hoyoverse, with a post-apocalyptic world design surrounding New Eridu and its proxies, whom you'll be controlling as characters. At a glance, the combat blends typical modern gacha elements of basic attacks, skills, and ultimates alongside reactive combat mechanics such as dodges, parries or counters, and QTE swap-ins. These combat features reside in a rustic, punk-esque, bold color, new city environment, which is enhanced by thematic music and corresponding UI elements. So for those first 10 hours of the gameplay experience, I did not skip any of the story, and I got the full experience of the game. I was constantly impressed by the animated expressions of the characters, because I'm typically used to gacha games having standard idle animations with little to no uniqueness.
This was really good. The only thing that could top this scene was probably Julian's giant ass cheeks, but that was pretty much it.
It definitely destroyed that stereotype, and there were even times where I couldn't help but smile that the animators behind this work didn't need to animate what they did, but they did that because they were passionate about it. After this first segment, I felt the need to kind of rush through the content so I could experience as much as I needed as a gacha content creator and to produce videos for you guys. Some kind of mid to end game combat system was what I was looking for, gearing system, dailies, stamina burning, the usual that you'd expect from a gacha grind. But playing this game this way definitely screwed up my personal experience. I had developed no real connection with the characters, something that I think that Hoyo has historically done pretty well, and lost connection with the lore and the story buildup, and then combat itself became relatively repetitive from my perspective because I was spamming into it so frequently. And the funny thing is, this is actually where I consulted my wife about her experience playing ZZZ. And she gave me her perspective.
Nuclear wife collab.
You know, with the first 5 hours or so, taking her time, enjoying the full story of Act 1, and really getting to know the characters. She told me that my initial style of play is probably the reason why I had mixed feelings about the game. Because
he has been playing Zenless Zone Zero wrong. Wait, I think this review might be Nuclear Cinema. This is probably the first review so far that actually said, I have been playing Zenless Zone Zero wrong, guys. You will never find that on like 99.9% of the reviews in the video. Absolutely not.
Do it the same way I do all other gacha games. That isn't to say that my style of play is wrong, it's just that for ZZZ, it's probably not catered towards it. And that style of play is progressing as fast as possible. But I'd forgotten a major reason why players get invested into a game beyond just how strong they are as a character or how strong you become with your progression. And that's the lore and story behind each character. Since it's a fresh launch of the game, my usual goal is to hyper-focus on reaching mid to end game content as fast as possible in order to showcase that type of content for you guys on YouTube. So while I was able to experience a deeper part of the combat, I unintentionally neglected a huge part of what ZZZ is good at: world building. And I think that this is where we can really dissect what type of game ZZZ is. In my opinion, ZZZ is not your typical gacha game. It's a new format that I believe Hoyo is trying to test out. Because let's be honest, Hoyo doesn't need another Genshin type game or another Star Rail or another Honkai Impact. Those games already do exactly what they're meant to do in their industry sphere, and they're really successful at it, probably making shit tons of money. I can see ZZZ trying to reach a different audience that isn't all about who's the strongest character, what's the strongest meta. Because if it was about who's the strongest character, then it'd be the same cookie cutter power creep gacha game with some sort of PvP for you to flex your internet floppy disk size.
It's probably even if we done that PvP, it's still gonna have the flex. Ellen's the strongest, you know, it is what it is. When Julian comes out, she's gonna do more damage to Ellen, it is what it is. And people are still gonna combat meta. Oh my god, you clear shield defense in less than 60 seconds, then you're the actual gamer. If you clear anything beyond 60 seconds, you can go fuck yourself, basically. Yeah, it's gonna end like this anyways. I think world building and story, all this kind of stuff, at the end of the day, okay, I guess it depends on like your audience. I guess it depends on your audience. I know my audience, they're insufferable. My chat is insufferable. It's like, actually, you can't even play Elden Ring without an STR. Then you're basically not playing the game. If you use anything but naked STR with no summons, yeah, my chat is absolutely fucking insufferable. So they basically want to see me suffer and mount against like meta and speed running and all kinds of stuff. So it depends on audience. Maybe like, you know, a wholesome streamer's chat, you know, I mean, technically I am wholesome. I am a wholesome streamer. Maybe another streamer's chat, you know, that is like more catered towards that, you know, the family friendly side of things, you know, the cutesy, oh my god, the world building is so cute. Then I can kind of see that. But for me, yeah, I don't really feel that.
If you know what I mean. The thing that ZZZ tries to focus on, and is without a doubt its strongest feature, is of course its world building. From the cinematic storyline and how it reads like a mix between a visual novel
Holy
and comic
bubba.
book style, to the incredibly fluid animations and emotive expressions of the characters, and then to the interpersonal relationships between characters. These all really bring the world of New Eridu alive. Then we
Damn,
got the
that's
voice
a-
acting interaction and the
Damn.
cutscene animations, which are insanely impressive and rival the quality that is made by even AAA anime studios. The gameplay that comes in between these moments of storytelling became more of something that needed to be put in, of course, because every game needs some gameplay. And to clarify, I don't think the gameplay is bad at all. I just think it's much slower than I personally like, and it's a lot more reactive than proactive if you want to take advantage of the enemy parry windows. In essence, the game kinda gives Persona vibes in its style and focal points, which I think may be a rough target audience for the game. Given all these factors, my initial experience is still mixed. While I can respect the intent to be more story building and stylistically focused, I personally am much more combat driven. If what you guys have been hearing interests you, I will have a download link in the description for you guys.
Oh, it's an ad, guys. I mean, you can still look at this neutrally. We can still look at this neutrally.
Nice to try out ZZZ. A big thanks to Hoyoverse for
actual Hoyo. I mean, we can still. I still disqualify. It was crazy. The fact that Hex. Now I don't know where to rank HexJuice. Now I don't know where to rank HexJuice. DQ. Alright, just DQ.
I think nowadays there's a lot of merit in being able to enjoy a game even when you know it doesn't do things perfectly. And also, some things that I describe in this video about ZZZ that may not be my own preference might actually be something that you wanted from the game. Who knows? Anyways, here's some of my own ZZZ experience, which was live streamed from my Twitch on the first week of the launch. This will give you guys my raw impressions of experiencing things like the story, combat, and cutscene animations for the very first time, and also really unique interactions that made me appreciate how much passion the devs had. Enjoy the rest of the vid. Alright, tutorial time.
Oh, yeah! So it's basically gameplay footage. Okay, so this is probably gonna wrap up the overall review tier list. I think this is probably gonna wrap up the overall review tier list. Okay, you know what? I think it's not that bad, alright? It's just, it is what it is. This is our first ad. This is our first hashtag ad. So we're gonna be in a, okay, you know what? Special. There's a special category, so I'm just gonna leave them here as special category. Alright, final summary. If you have been watching this video for the past 2 hours plus, I have no fucking idea how long this video is today. This is gonna be my final review for all of the Zenless Zone Zero reviews. So it will be the optimal review tier list of Zenless Zone Zero reviews created by the reviewees within the Zenless Zone Zero community as of the current date, which is going to be the 9th of July. Absolutely, one day before my birthday. Insane. So the number one, rank 1 geek review. I mean, like, this is a complete, by the way, these are completely subjective, right? These are all completely subjective. And it is ranked by my own chat. Right, so my own chat believes this, right? It is not ranked by me. You guys can take a look, you know, you wanna check out the vote and all the kind of stuff. You know, there has been like numerous instances, numerous evidence, numerous documentations of my chat coming together and deciding amongst me and my chat who should be the best, right? So me and my chat, we both work on the overall tier list. It's not just a one-man effort, if I can say so myself, right? So a overwhelming majority decided that the absolute peak review is actually gonna be my own review. Wow, that's crazy, guys. What a crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, I do understand why my chat believe this way, because it's a very objective review. It's a very subjective, objective, covered everything, covered all the good points, covered all the bad points, showed the boba, showed the air, showed all the kind of stuff, and as well the fact that, you know, this guy is just, you know, he mutes and all that kind of stuff. So I think overall, MrPokke's review is honestly, it's gonna be right? So on a very close second, it's gonna be Gacha Smack's honest first impressions. Honestly, he was at the peak as well. He was at the peak, but unfortunately, because of another review, it kind of exposed Gacha Smack in a pretty non-neutral light. So we are gonna have to bump it down. The chat absolutely insists that we're gonna have to bump down the Kuro bot, if I can say so myself. So as long as you're overly negative or overly positive, you are either a Hoyo shield or a Kuro bot. Leave a comment down below. Which one are you? Are you a Kuro shield or are you a Hoyo bot? Are you a Hoyo shield or are you a Kuro bot? Or are you a shield bot or Hoyo Kuro or bot shield? Let me know what you guys think. Rank 2 is gonna be honestly I don't even know what the fuck I can't tell. But A rank, B rank, and all that. Eango is absolutely gonna be in a peak of B, couldn't quite make it to A, but I think this was a very, very good satire review. So we got some classic bangers like Tectone's review, Mtashed review, very, very classic, Asmongold, Stix, all that. Box 2 at the top of C, Gatekeeping C is gonna be our rank 1 C class hero over here. Very, very nice. I think it's absolutely insane how someone can play a game for 6 hours and be a level 9. That's absolutely, it is absolutely built different. And then we have a very, very wide variety overall. One last note, you are my special. Now, this is going to be a special category, which is basically apparently HexJuice. She self-excused herself from this review tier list, right? Because apparently she did not give a review, so you are a special review. And then this is going to be our first hashtag ad using my code Pokke for 10% off the gamer subs. This is our first ad in a Zenless Zone Zero, so it might be a little bit legendary for myself. So overall, this is going to be the final review. Absolutely subjective, absolutely objective, covering the best of both worlds. So with that, after 2+ hours, it might be a 3-hour long video, I have no fucking idea. We have finally come to the end of our Zenless Zone Zero review tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys want to join the discussion, join the Discord, discord.gg for Pokke, comment on Zenless Zone, that's all for today. All the best for your Adam pools, all the best for your win pools. Hope you guys enjoyed this pretty satirical comment. Okay, one last thing before I go is that this is a completely satirical or satire, just a joke. It is oohoo, is aha, it is a little bit of a chaotic neutral movement from MrPokke myself, right? So please do not take this note seriously. I don't want to start any drama, I don't want to get cancelled, but yeah, just a little banter because it's myself. That's all for today. All the best, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.